Okay, so we're live and we're playing some Boot Hill, second edition, if that matters. I'm kind of taking pieces of actual TSR module using their setting it is, which is the town of Dead Mule, and we're in 1868, New Mexico territory near the Arizona border. As we open, the travelers are. Three travelers are heading towards the town of Dead Mule. You guys have been traveling for a bit with a wagon train, keep seeking shelter in large groups. So you've been moving across the country, looking for, I guess, a new life or whatever your reasons are for it. But they turned and started heading towards Utah to settle, and you guys maybe aren't as Puritan as all that. So you decide to head down to maybe a little bit more of the rough and wild west, and you're heading towards Dead Mule. You heard from the last kind of small town that you stopped in that there's been a bit of a boom here. Years ago, there was a kind of a gold rush that kind of came and went, but maybe 2 months ago, word got out that somebody in the hills found some more gold. And so more and more people have been heading in this direction. And you've probably seen a couple of stagecoaches pass as you've kind of just been, meandering down the road on your horses. So as you're coming to this town, it's essentially in a bit of a valley. And you can actually see, from a few miles away as you're starting to approach it, you're a little bit above it. You can see that kind of almost like a little tent town has set up on the outskirts of it. And this is very likely all these new settlers coming in, because the town itself is not very big, maybe a dozen or so buildings. So you guys are heading down the road, and I guess you can describe your characters as we meander in on your horses. And I will start with my left. So Crystal, tell us a little bit about your character.
My character is Jenny Keegan. She's a gambler by trade. She actually probably seems like she's fairly good at it too. She's actually riding a good horse, and she has on very nice clothing. Her clothing almost looks like something that typically a man would wear in this era, like a red suit with kind of like a bow tie, not bow tie, but one of those like bulligan ties that have like little straps that hang down. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, she almost dresses almost like you would think a man would dress in this time, but she is quite obviously female from her appearance, and yeah, she's striding into this town, hoping she might find herself an easy mark here, but she remembers this one time when she was on a train, this advice this old man gave her, that you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them and know when to walk away. So she's just trying to keep that in mind as she enters this town.
Yeah, that's good advice. So you're coming in probably trailed by your companion that is played by Tony.
Trailing behind the female, he looks almost Spanish origin, but with the darker skin. But as you get up closer, you can tell that he's an Italian. Stands about 5'7", about 180 pounds, medium build, and very clean shaven. As you would be traveling with him, you would know that it seems that he shaves twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. But in contrast to the clean-shaven face is this beautiful black, straight, fine hair that flows down and touches the top of his shoulders. It's just flowing back up under this black hat that he wears, which is very unusual for an Italian to have this length of hair. But he's moving along on his horse, and he looks in his saddlebags as they're traversing along, and he opens up one of the saddlebags, and the bottles are there. He curses under his own breath. Below the bottle, he reaches down and touches an old book. Very well worn, very thick. And as you would look down in his saddlebag, you can see as he pulls it open, it is the King James Bible. He closes the saddlebag back up and thinks to himself, every new place needs a man of the gospel. I hope I can focus on that here and not let it be like it was in the last town. I'm playing Angelo Rossi, a preacher and also a drunkard.
Nice. And finally, in this small party coming through the desert is Young's character.
Trotting behind Angelo is a man with a neatly trimmed dark mustache, wearing a dusty gray long coat adorned with a Confederate flag. He's wearing a brown leather boots and a yellowish, sweat-stained white shirt. He's riding a fine-looking horse. Along the side of that saddle is a rifle sheath, and he's carrying a large rifle. And along his hip, you see a little pistol hanging down there. He twirls his mustache and he says, "Sacre, it is very hot today." And he turns around and looks at the other guys.
Yeah, hot it is as you kind of move in through the kind of sparse desert kind of scenery. Not much growing around here. Some shrubs and the occasional kind of dwarfed pine. But as you come closer to the town, you see they must have a pretty decent source of water, because you see definitely a decent amount of trees and stuff growing in the outskirts, and you can actually start to hear it's about midday. You can actually hear the hustle and bustle of activity happening in this kind of like I say, kind of tent city that's kind of on the outskirts of the town that you'll need to go through in order to get to the town. It's kind of between you and them. So, assuming that you do that, so you're heading through this kind of, like I say, it's coming into a narrower valley. So it's this like tent village is kind of out in the wider part, and then they left a gap. Obviously, the town doesn't want them to block passage to the town, but you can see that there's a lot of people. They seem to be sitting around. Some of them sitting around small fires, eating lunches. They've got some various grub cooking, and they're being pretty loud. You see also like small wagons and mules there that look all pretty new, and piles of shovels and picks and that kind of stuff as you kind of work your way through. But the except for the main passage through the middle, it's all very muddy and kind of unclean and not really kept up. It's not truly a town. It's just kind of the outskirts of town.
Out of character. Young, what's your character's name again?
Henry. Henry.
It's Henri Monroe.
Okay, so Jenny will say, yeah, it is a pretty hot day, Henry, but tavern, they'll have a local tavern here, I'm sure. Tavern's never all that hot. How about you and I go in there and get a drink together? Maybe get a card game going or something.
Oui, monsieur. Oui, mon ami. Let us go there.
It may be better.
What do you say?
Take a drink of that fresh spring water that it seems they have here.
Well, I'm sure that they'll serve you whatever you want, preacher. But how about you have a little fun? You can join our card game with us.
I'll take a watch first and see how it goes.
Maybe we will hear the rumors about the nuggets. Yeah.
Maybe
The
it
gold
would be pretty
nuggets.
interesting to be able to get us some, be able to get a little gold.
If the good Lord wants it, He will give it to us. But remember, child, sometimes treasure is found in other places.
So you're going through, and people are definitely looking at you. You're getting some people are kind of eyeballing you, especially with coming in with very obvious rifle on the side of Henry and a beautiful young lady. They're kind of eyeballing you, but nobody's saying anything to you right now. I'm screen sharing the map right now of the town. You guys can basically see you're coming in through here, the top here. It's probably hard for you to read, so I'll just kind of go through. This over here is a very nice house. Over here is there's a big sign on this thing that says Stagecoach Depot. There's a corral behind it. You've got this here, looks like some kind of a tavern, like straw on the floor kind of tavern. You've got a well. This is the trading post. Apache Trading Post. This building is actually made out of adobe. The rest of the town, for the most part, is made out of kind of almost like log cabin looking wood, and everything's kind of dusty but clean. This over here, I mean, we can ask. I'm just going to give you a overview of the thing. This is basically it looks like a hotel. It's a 2-story building. It's definitely the tallest building in the place. There's a walkway here. And as you're kind of walking down the street, you can see that this over here is the sheriff's office. They all have signs in front of them. Let's see. This here has a sign that says Dead Mule Gazette. And if you were to go all the way to the end of the place here, you can see that there's a pen over here that has some various livestock, and this over here is a bank. So I don't know what you want to do. There's various people out. Like I said, it's the middle of the day. People are getting water from the well. You can see people working. The stage depot building seems to be closed up, and there's no stage there right now.
So is there a place where we can tie our horses off? Where was that at?
Yeah, there's a stable over here. You see a sign that says Grafton Stables.
Is that where the tavern is?
The tavern is across the street over here.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay. The map is sideways, so it's hard to. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll head over to the stables first, since I got to get my horse taken care of.
Since we're probably going to use the map a lot, let me see if I can turn it for you. I'm nice like that. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are going to head over to the stables. I'm going to make a copy of this map for you guys so I can turn it. Yeah, so you head to the stables, and let me see.
Yeah, Angela's falling behind Jenny.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys have your horses, and you're probably in need of putting them up.
So, what game will you be playing today?
I'm thinking a little 5-card should be able to get things going. I don't know if you guys have been down to the south, but down in the southwest they have this one game, excellent. It's called Texas Hold'em. Hoping to get some of that going.
I played that game many times before.
Well, maybe it'll be popular around here.
So how much gold are you wagering today?
Well, aren't you a little nosy?
Okay, so you approach the stables. It's a log stable. Like I said, most of the buildings here look kind of log cabinish. They look pretty well constructed. It's you can see there's a couple of guys in there. They kind of come out when they see you, and they can obviously see that you need the horses stabled. So they say, "Are you looking to stable your horses, ma'am?"
I am. How much is that? How much would that be?
It's 20 cents a day, or $1.20 per week. 7 days. That's the best deal in town.
$1.20 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were to give you, say, $1.50, would you take extra good care of my horses?
Well, we take the best care of the horses no matter what, but all gratuities are accepted, ma'am.
I understand. All right, that sounds like a good deal to me. And I will hop down. And do I just pay this man?
Yeah, you can pay him. He introduced himself as Raymond, and then he calls for another guy, Jim, who comes out and starts to get the horses. I'm assuming that all you guys are getting off your horses and stabling them?
Yeah, and you see Angelo just pull out the $1.20 that the man quoted.
Okay. Yeah, they take it. They don't give you any grief about that. They say, well, Jim here stays at night up in the loft, so you'll always be safe. Your horses will always be safe, but also if you need them in a hurry, just let us know. Just call out first, because sometimes when he gets to the drink, and he kind of like looks to say he kind of like does this with his head, and you can see on the wall there's a rifle hanging. So he's like, just call out before you come in at night if you need your horses. And then Jim, this is kind of out there.
Angelo also.
Is there much need for? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say, Angelo removes his main set of saddlebags, and well, I have some reading to do tonight. I better take my saddlebags with me.
Okay. Yeah,
so is there
Go ahead.
Is there usually need for that kind of defense around here? Do you have problems with bandits or something?
Well, no. Every once in a while, the natives will come to town, but that doesn't happen in a long time. But you can't be too safe with people's horses. Of
course, yeah. Yeah, I could imagine that would be a pretty bad situation if something were to happen to horses. I know I'd be mighty upset if something happened to my horse.
Indeed.
Well, I'm glad to see that you take extra precaution to keep the horses safe around here.
So we do it, and he sees you grabbing your saddlebags, Tony, and Angelo, and he says, if we'll hang your saddles over here on the wall and your bridles and stuff, but anything else you want to take with you, feel free, of course, because we can't guarantee that somebody won't walk in during the day if you leave anything valuable.
So at this point, Henry dismounts from his horse and slings the rifle sheath over his back and flings a coin to the stable fellas and says, good afternoon, mon ami. And he just nods and joins the other party members.
Good afternoon. So they give you they make sure that they give you the whole rundown of when you can come get the horses, whatever. It's pretty casual. They make a note. They give you like a little piece of paper that says that you paid for the week or whatever. And and you're free to do whatever. And I even flip the map for you because I'm so nice like that. That's the map, right? There you
wow.
Go.
Well, it must be like gods or something.
There you go, right? All right, there you go. So basically, just now to reorient you, because we met, you're came in through over here. You are currently right here at the stables. Like I said, there's kind of I guess when you're back here, you notice there's a kind of a little jail thing going on over here. You got the sheriff's office right here, big sign on it, sheriff's office. This right here is a hotel, two-story hotel. They point that out to you. If you have any questions, they would answer them about the various buildings. This is a hotel. This directly across is kind of the more kind of tavern-y saloon.
Okay. Are there mostly is it mostly locals around here, or do you get a lot of visitors?
Well, lately there's been a lot of people, rumors of gold in the hills. You probably came past them as you went through.
Yeah. I've heard a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
And what are the bed?
Good.
And what are the beds like in the hotel?
This is the finest hotel in the area.
What about the ladies? They be staying at the hotel?
Mm-hmm. Yes. For sure. Just talk to the bartender. But I don't know if you should talk about things like that in front of the lady.
Well, she's been riding with me for a long time.
Yeah, if I'm not used to it by now, I guess I'll never be.
Okay, he nods. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for all of your for all your help.
No problem.
And,
We're here.
Yeah, if you need anything from us, just let us know.
Thanks. I will say this, just a little friendly advice. You might want to stay away from the miners out there at night because they tend to take to the drink pretty heavily.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
understand.
definitely.
I would understand why they are so defensive, because with the rumors of the gold nuggets, of course they need to defend themselves. Have they been under siege, or has there been many bandits or anyone else attacking them?
No, not so much. They caused enough trouble on their own.
That is good to know. Maybe they are looking to hire some guns to protect them.
Oh, maybe.
Have you heard any rumors?
No, I don't. I try to stay away from them, to be honest. They don't give us business. They sit out there with their horses. They only come into town to get the water from the well. I'm not even doing that, but I guess we got to be hospitable.
Yeah, that is good. So at this point, Henri looks over to Crystal's character. I forget her name.
Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny, and says, shall we go in there?
You guys want to go into the tavern, or do you want to go into the hotel?
Yeah, the tavern.
Let's get some money, earn some money before we hit the hotel.
Well,
Angelo.
maybe. I mean,
Angelo.
I'm afraid I'm not very good. Go ahead, Tommy.
No, go ahead. You're breaking up real bad for me, so I didn't hear you talking until you were halfway through, so go ahead.
Okay, Jenny just says, like, well, maybe we can make some money. I mean, I'm afraid I'm not that good. But, you know, maybe. We'll see.
Angelo looks towards both of them and just softly goes, I will join you in a few moments. I need to go to the trading post and see if they have any new shaving razors in.
Well, before you go, maybe you can bless us, Father.
The good book says gambling is not something to be blessed. That is the work of the devil.
Well, maybe you could bless us, for we may do something that we may need forgiveness later.
Maybe you can just protect us from all the evil that is in the tavern, you know?
The good Lord will protect you if he sees you as one of his children.
Fair enough, Father.
You want us to buy you a reserve drink for you?
Oh, I will find you, I'm sure.
The strongest whiskey, perhaps?
He turns and starts walking towards the trading post without answering the last question.
Henri at this point just shrugs his shoulder and says,
Yeah, I think that was a yeah. When he comes in, he'll definitely want a shot. He seems a little uptight. He needs to loosen up a little bit.
Okay, cool. So I'll do I'll get you guys going first with the gambling, I guess. So since it's closer, so you guys walk to the La Loma Alta. Let's see. This is a saloon and pool hall. It's made of rough-hewn logs, like the rest of the city, basically the rest of the town. It is actually partially built into the hillside. You can kind of see that there. And of course, there's if you look past it, you see the horse pen in the back. You see some horses back there. Let's see. It's partially built. Inside, the wooden floored room is dominated by a long bar and a pool table. Several tables and chairs take up the rest of the space. Blah. You see a guy behind the bar who is kind of an older guy, kind of rough beard looking. And you see actually two other men there. They look to be at least partially Indian. So they look up at you when you walk in. They kind of look at you, assess you for a second, and then they look back down to whatever they were doing. The bartender immediately addresses you, though, and he says, new in town. Hopefully you have some money and not just those prospectors out there.
Henri, at this point, waves at the bartender and says, "Howdy, partner. My name's Henri Moreau, and set me up with one of the strongest drink."
Oh, for sure. We have my homebrew. And he basically he set you up with it. It is called Tarantula Bite, and it is very strong. It is 15 cents a shot.
Yeah.
He puts 15 cents and then 2 more cents on top.
Okay.
It says, "Merci beaucoup."
Jenny will order a shot as well, and upon taking her shot, she'll reach into her jacket and she pulls out this small flask, and she says, "How much to top this off?" She says, "I'm about empty." She kind of shakes it a little bit. She only has a little bit of whiskey left.
He says, "You don't want to mix my stuff with that water. Drink that out first," and he slides you an empty cup.
Yeah.
Then he assesses it and he says it'll be like $3.
Okay.
That's all right. Yeah, for a full flask. There are actually more people in here. There are 3 kind of rough-looking guys in the corner. I say rough-looking, meaning that they're dirty and they have guns at their sides. And there's 2 guys that look more like maybe they're the prospectors. They don't have any weapon or anything. They're kind of they're not in nice clothes, but they're also not like they don't look like they've been living in the desert. And they are playing pool. So there's 5 people besides the 2 kind of employees plus the bartender.
Okay. So once I get my flask full of this tarantula venom, I'll screw the lid on and put that flask back in my pocket, and I'll grab the cup of stuff that I had, and I'll go take a seat and sit in the corner, and I'll reach down into my other pocket, and I'll pull out a deck of cards, and I'll just start kind of tapping them on the table, just sort of shuffling them a little bit. Nothing too fancy, just kind of almost if I can try and do some kind of deception or something, I almost want to look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah, you can pretend like you don't know what you're doing. You don't have to, drop them on the ground or whatever. I mean,
I didn't know if I needed 5e and all.
No, you should be able to, I mean, the fact that you have your own deck of cards is probably maybe a giveaway that you might know something about it. But, if you want to drop them on the floor or something, that might fool people for sure. Cool. So you're doing that. What's up with Henry?
He takes a sip from that tarantula's bite and starts coughing uncontrollably. He clears his throat and walks over to Jenny and says, "This drink is very, 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 very strong. You should be very careful with this." He coughs again and looks at the cards. And you want to play a round? I can teach you how to play. Where were we last time that we played? I was teaching you the orders that these are pulled from the deck. We?
Yeah, you were telling me what was that game you were teaching me? Texas something?
Yeah, it's Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, that was it. And there was and the cute little puppy dog tails. I remember that.
We. And then he takes another sip.
It'd be a little boring if it were just you and me. I mean, kind of wish we had someone else to play.
Well, you hardly know how to play the game. I must teach you how to do this before you actually play with other players.
Well, that's true. She'll put the deck of cards down in front of Henry.
Are you going now? When you sat in the corner, are you sitting close to the rough guys that are playing poker, or are you sitting close to the guys at the pool table? Like, who are you? Do you intend to hear this?
The rough guys, for sure.
All right, cool. All right, so you're doing that. You may have caught their attention with that, and you're kind of pretending like you're teaching her, I guess. And we'll cut outside to the trading post, where Angelo walks towards the trading post. You can see this building is tiled roofed, wooden adobe building. It's you walk in like it's got the doors wide open. You know, they don't have it closed up or anything. And it's basically a full on general store. You can definitely see though that there's a lot of empty shelf space where it looks like they probably have been selling a lot of things since these prospectors have come into town. But you do see that there's like kind of haphazardly like piles of certain things like pans and shovels and stuff kind of like put out in very obvious view as you walk in.
Is it crowded or not?
Yeah, there is. I need to leave that out. Yeah, there's like 5 what you might be able to immediately recognize as townspeople because they're pretty clean, and one of them is a woman with 2 kids, so it's like there's a woman, 2 kids, and then 2 like males who are just like doing some general shopping. One of them is talking to who's probably clearly the owner because he's standing behind the counter. There's also one guy that looks like he probably can't afford anything, but is just like kind of like taking up space. He's kind of wandering around with his hands in his pockets. And one guy that you immediately catches your eye because he's actually kind of, at first maybe you think he's working there because he's like watching everybody, and then he turns a certain way and you can see that he's got a badge under his like vest. You get a hint of it, like a marshal's badge.
Yeah, Angelo takes note of the guy that appears that he shouldn't be in here, but he probably doesn't have much money. He'll take a quick note of glance at him, and he approaches the counter there where the store owner is, and of course, no one in his general daily wear can tell that he's a man of the cloth the way he dresses. So he just, good afternoon, gentlemen. Just arrived in town and shopping for some new straight razors. Would you happen to have any here?
Welcome. So he has a big smile on his face, and he says, "Oh, for sure. In fact, if you were looking for a shovel, it might have been a little more difficult. They're selling it like crazy, but these prospectors don't care about shaving, I guess. No offense if you're a prospector." And he goes in behind him and he pulls out like a tin, and he opens it up and he's got like individually boxed like kind of variety of different razors and stuff, and he should start showing them to you.
Yeah, and Angelo would pick out probably what appears to be a more expensive line of them, and he will, well, how much would this one would be?
Ooh. That's a good choice. That one is 75 cents.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it's a fair price. I can pay you for that, and of course, I pull out $1 or whatever change and give to him.
Yeah, he says, since you're new in town and all that, I'll throw in this shaving powder, and he gives you like a little bag of shaving powder to go with it.
By the way, since you have seems to be a line of finer type items here, would you happen to have any of those distilled spirits that would be more of a little bit stronger variety for sale?
He looks at you and says, oh, yes, for sure. Yeah, and he says, he kind of looks around. He says, are you thinking some homemade, or you'd like a bottle?
It doesn't have to be homemade, but if you had some of the finer whiskeys that come back from the east, back in Tennessee and stuff, maybe.
Indeed. I do. $2 per bottle. It shows you some Tennessee whiskey.
When he does that, Angelo opens up the saddlebag and he pulls out a bottle of what he has, and he says, well, would you be willing to do some trading? I got this back in the city, back in New York. It's made by a fine Italian family. Maybe we could do a little bit of trading. I'm sure you don't get this out here, do you?
No, I've never seen it before. Perhaps a sample? And he kind of
you see Angelo uncork it, and you can see that it's almost full. He says, yeah, there's been a couple samples taken before, so it probably won't hurt to touch a little bit more.
He reaches under and pulls out a couple of shot glasses and cleans them out, and he puts them down, and he, as you pour them.
Yeah, and as soon as Angelo pours, he immediately drinks it.
So he takes it and he drinks it, and he likes it. He says, "Oh yeah, sure. We're always looking for something different here." The clientele doesn't have so much money. So normally I'm selling these bottles for $2 a piece. I have to make some profit from it. So what are you thinking here?
What about I give you $1 in the bottle in exchange for that bottle?
Done. And he gives you... Yeah, go ahead.
He does the deal and says, "Oh, well, thank you. If we stay in town long, I'm sure my companions will be here to buy some supplies too. They, of course, had to wet their whistle, so they're over at the little tavern over there. But thank you very much." And as he goes to leave, he eyes the badgeman, and he'll nod at him, tip his hat and nod at him. "Good day to you," and just keep walking. And then as soon as he gets outside, if there's like a little alleyway between the two buildings, he goes to the alleyway and opens up his saddlebag, and he looks at this new bottle that he's just bought, and he goes, "No, not right now." And he puts it back in. And he takes out another bottle, and as he uncorks it, you can get this strong smell of like lime, an aftershave. And he starts splashing some of it on his face, and he goes, "One little shot was enough for someone to smell, so they won't smell it now." And he corks the bottle of aftershave, backs up, and heads over towards the where his companions went.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely do that. So by the time you do your business, you see these guys are sitting in the corner. Henry is dealing cards to Ginny.
Yeah, and noticing that they're already started, which he had no doubt that they would go straight to it, he goes up to the actual bar and the barkeep, and I've been traveling very thirsty, but not for anything of the strong. Now, do you have some? I understand you'll have some of the good well water. If you had a pitcher of well water, I could have.
He looks at you and he says, he picks up a pitcher, an empty pitcher, and he puts it on the counter. And he says, "Right by the trading post is the well. Help yourself, sir. Just make sure to bring back the pitcher."
Oh, I'll be back. I have some companions that appears to be trying to play their card game over there. I'll be back. And he runs out real quick and fills the pitcher of water and comes back. And he doesn't sit with his companions. He sits up at the bar alone, but he's keeping an eye on them.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're out getting the water, the either the attention of you like walking in and having a conversation with the bartender kind of got the attention of the these guys that were playing cards, and having broken their game, they turn towards Ginny and Henry, and they say, "Oh, playing alone, huh? You don't want to join the official game over here?"
Jenny, she's holding me a few cards in her hand. She says, she's talking to Henry, and she says, then the boy says, it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet. You're going to regret because I'm the best there's ever been. And then the guys talk to her, and she's like, oh, a real game. Well, what do you mean?
Okay, you're getting roboty, but they say, we'll sit on it and we'll deal you in if you'd like.
Okay, let me reset real quick because I'm getting robotic.
No worries. Did you want to jump in on the game, Henry, or are you going to just let her do it?
At that moment, Henry says, No, you're not ready yet. You have to know how to play the game. It says that do not bet too much money. Just put maybe a little bit. Just bet a little tiny bit. Do not bet too much money.
Yeah, they kind of eyeball you.
Bet money, like, well, I mean, I could probably bet a few pennies or something. I mean,
so at that, they kind of look at you and they say, listen, I know that you're new at this and all, but we have standards here. There's a here. There's a $1 buy-in.
The woman here is no good. I will bet $1 and play the game.
wow.
Jenny, you sit this out and you just watch the game. Try to learn how we play the Texas Hold'em.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't know, $1. I mean, it is kind of steep, but I might be able to play in on that.
No, Jenny. Just watch the master at work. And he sits down and he tries to play.
Okay. Are you just gonna watch, Jenny?
Sure. I'll just sit back and watch for now. I'll see what my companion's gonna do.
And Henri clears his throat and then looks at Jenny.
Cool. All right. So the way this, are you gonna try to cheat?
He's not gonna try to cheat.
Oh no, I'm just asking because if you want to, then that would say, well, just fine. You don't have to cheat. So it's literally just a D100 roll against them, and whoever gets the highest roll wins. And easy as that. It's a game of chance. If you're not cheating.
He rolls 94.
Nice. Wow. Yeah. They're just like blown away. Like your first hand is like crazy good, and they're dealing, so they're like, wow, you're lucky, boy, but you can't leave yet. And they kind of like signal to the bartender to bring a bottle over, and they say, let's play some more.
Are you sure? Because I have been playing this game for a very long time.
I can see that. So you have $3 more, by the way. So keep track of that. Yeah, you'll play even longer. And they deal another hand.
Do you want me to just keep watching, or do you want me to try and get in now? I mean, I think I've been watching.
How about let me play the hands this time?
Okay.
Okay, that's the deal.
And he rolls 7 this time.
Okay. 33. Oh, wow. This guy rolled 100. That's 100. Wow. All right. So another guy got 94. So it's actually two of the guys get really good hands, but one's like fantastically good at 100. I mean, you can beat that. So yeah, they smile. The guy that, well, actually, the guy with the really good hand thinks he won, and then the other guy wins, and then they kind of give each other dirty looks, and he takes his money. So now you're down $1.
Sacre bleu! That is enough for me. I am done with playing this game. And he gets up and looks at Jenny. Well, if you want to lose your money, you try this game, but I do not recommend it.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I mean, I got to jump in sometime, right? But $1, that seems just a little shallow. What if we were to bet, I don't know, like $3? I mean, just make our blood rush a little bit here.
Are you insane? They have just defeated me with the greatest hand that I have ever seen. You do not want to bet $3.
Was it really that good a hand?
I will be over at the bar then.
So how does cheating work?
You're going to try to cheat.
I'm thinking about it. I want to know how it works.
Well, because you're a professional gambler, you automatically get a 5% with no chance of getting caught. That's like just your minor cheating. So you just get 5% more. So that's worth it. If you want to cheat, you can get plus 20 on the roll. But your chance of being caught is hold on. Your chance of not being caught. The number is rolled. The result number is the gambler rating that represents the percentage chance of the gambler cheating being detected. So basically, whatever your gambler rating is, which is
it says on here it's 40.
40. Yep. So you have a 40% chance of being caught. Otherwise, you'll but you get plus 20 to your roll.
Okay.
You have 60% chance of not being caught if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
Or you can minorly cheat and just get a plus 5%.
No, fuck it. I'll cheat. Why not?
Okay, so you sit down and you up the game to $3 and then you cheat. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. This is a good way to get killed really early.
So go ahead. You can go ahead and roll your percentage and add 20% to it.
Okay, so I rolled a 67. So,
okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good hand, and but one of them rolled a 94, so you lost $3. But there's also a chance they just caught you cheating, even though you didn't win. So let me roll. They did not.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't notice that you cheated, but you did. You definitely lost. Maybe you were trying to be too subtle about it, or you were nervous, so you lost the hand. So you're down $3. So awesome. They go, oh, fantastic. We like these stakes. This is much better. Sit back down.
At this point, Henri walks over to Jenny and says, Jenny, I told you, you play this game and you're going to lose. You just do not have enough skills to have a winning hand. You just do not know how to play this game.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, I'll give it one more try. $3.
He throws his hand up in the air and walks back to the bar.
Oh, come on. We only get one life. You got to live a little.
The guy looks at you and says, show me the $3 first. This is a lot of money you guys are throwing around here.
She will reach into her coat pocket. She'll pull out $3.
Okay. Go for it. He hands you the card, so you're cheating again, right?
God, I actually don't want to do this. I'm going to get caught. I'm not actually going to try it without cheating this time. Let's just see how it goes. Come on. Oh, nice. 94.
Nice. Yeah, you win. And you didn't cheat. So they can't get you.
Nice. So that's plus $12?
That's correct. No. There's 3 of them. $9.
Oh, plus $9. Yeah. Okay.
You lost it the first one. So they say, well, that's all fun and games, but Yeah, we're happy with our $1. Why don't you just have a couple drinks with us, honey? And
Yeah, I can't believe I got that lucky. Wow. That must be that beginner's luck stuff that they talk about, right?
Henri grabs his drink and walks over back to Jenny and says, "So you have lost you $3 shorter now? We?
I actually gained a little bit.
Mon Dieu, you have won? That
Mm.
is incredible."
Yeah, beginner's luck.
Oh, he shakes his head. And cheers then. He raises his glass and goes back to the bar and sits next to Angelo.
And she'll raise hers as well, and she'll have a drink. And then she coughs violently.
yeah, it's very, very strong. Do you want to continue to gamble with these guys, or are you going back with the rest of the group?
I tell you what, we'll just go back now because I don't want to slow down the story with gambling. So I'll just say I've had my fill, and I'll thank them all for allowing me in their game. I had so much fun. It was like, it was so thrilling.
They nod and they go back to their gambling. They kind of, looking at each other and they start drinking again and gambling. The two guys that were playing pool at some point during that exchange left. So now it's just these three guys and then the bartender, and the other two guys that work there aren't there anymore either. So yeah, they're at the bar. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
There's a pool table in there?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Hey, preacher, you want to play pool? Is that against? I don't know. Is that against the Bible, or you don't have to bet, of course. Oh, Tony left. I guess that's a no.
Tony dropped.
It's like these damn gamblers.
Yeah.
He's out. Oh man. Oh, he's back.
And he's gone.
Like, these gamblers are still here. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to some rumors while Tony's getting his connection straight.
Yeah, so the bartender's here, and he's his name is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Tony.
I have no idea what happened. Google Hangouts just completely, the whole page shut down on me.
Oh wow.
Well, Jenny was going to ask Angelo if he wanted to play some pool, not for money, just for fun.
Of course, child. Let's have a little ease of playing a game for fun before we have to retire to a room.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys play pool. I mean, nobody stops you. It's just sitting there. As you're playing, after maybe like half an hour or something, you guys are drinking or you're doing your thing. You hear like people yelling a little bit, like not in a scared way, but like a excited way. And you listen for a second. You hear that the stage is coming into town, the stagecoach. So like children and stuff go in the street or whatever, and you if you care to look, you would see that a stagecoach pulls in basically directly across the street from where you are. Is the stage building. Go back to my map here.
So, like, what? It's just like a stagecoach is just what, like a.
Well, it could be. So, stagecoach is almost always bringing in people, but it also can bring the mail and stuff and news from other places. So that's why people generally get excited when a stagecoach comes in. This is just general information. You didn't ask. If you ask somebody, he might tell you something different. But that's generally.
Yeah.
So people go to the some people gather around. Yeah, there's mail. The station master lets people in. You see a couple people get off the stagecoach, and you see a kind of a middle-aged man. He looks like he's maybe from like a Spanish descent, like from Spain, like that, like a European, and also a very kind of almost city slicker looking guy get off the stage. And they start walking towards the hotel.
Does it appear they're together?
They are talking. So it's at the very least they are friendly. I mean, they've been on the stagecoach. You don't know how long, but like they're not carrying each other's bags or anything. But yeah, they're definitely talking as they're walking. So yeah, they're together on that level. Yeah.
Angelo definitely takes note of the foreigner from across the sea. Also, he'll just take note of him in case he sees him later.
Okay.
Does the stagecoach, does it look like they're selling anything or anything like that? That might be worth taking a look at?
No, they have mail. These two people got off, and then the stage driver actually, the guys from the stables come and like start taking care of the horses, like brushed down and stuff, because it looks like the stage is probably going to stay the night at least. Sometimes they come and go, sometimes they stay.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Just guess let that go.
Where is that stagecoach coming from?
You asked the bartender.
Yeah.
He says, well, a lot of people coming from back east take the stage. People that aren't, from around these parts don't have horses and stuff, so they'll take their money and come out here. Could be prospectors. It's hard to say, although he kind of peeks out and sees them like walking away. So they don't look like prospectors, though.
They look like city folks.
For sure. The Spanish gentleman is really well dressed. The other guy is overly dressed. If both of them have nice clothes, but one guy's like really dressed up, like more than he should be. The other guy just has nice regular clothes.
Jenny will sort of flick her soft hair back and say, "There's nothing wrong with being city folk."
Yes, but they look like they're from the north.
Well, that means that they probably got some money then.
You know how I feel about the folks from the north after losing so many friends.
Hatred in your heart, though, will drive you to a bitter end. You need to let go and remember love is the key.
It is very hard to forget my friends. They have saved my life many times. I may come from France, but I have been their comrade for the past 3 years.
Oh, let's hope your friends studied the word and gave their faith and were baptized in the river, and you will not have to worry about their souls. They are well taken care of.
It is comforting to hear your words, Father. And then he takes another sip of his drinks and then, looks to the other looking to get a clue on where to go.
I couldn't understand you.
Yeah, it's like afternoon now. Like I said, you see the guys from the stables that you met earlier. They're kind of taking the horses from the stage, taking care of them, I should say. They brought them back into the corral behind the stage depot. And the two people that were on the stagecoach seem to have gone to the hotel at this point, and then the street starts to clear out a little bit. You can start to smell, like dinner starting to be cooked and stuff. It's going to be that time of day.
Well, do people usually just eat their meal in the tavern around here, or do visitors usually eat at the hotel? Where can we get a good meal at?
He says we don't. Yeah, we don't. So the only meals we serve are liquid.
Right. Yeah. So where can we get a decent meal at?
Yeah, the hotel.
It is a good time to head to the hotel. Have some.
I guess so. We'll need a place to stay after all.
Have some fine dinner and meet some ladies. No.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea.
All right, yes, you can head over to the hotel.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys head in that direction. Everybody's going? I'm assuming?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you guys head towards the hotel, the High Pass Hotel, let's see. It's the largest building in the town, 2 stories high. This building is made from finished timber. Like it's definitely nicer than the rest of the buildings. And like I said, you walk past the sheriff's office to get there. There is a balcony for this around the second floor. You don't really see anybody up there right now. And as you walk in, you see that the bottom part of it is a saloon and restaurant. So it's pretty nice. All things considered. There's a man behind like the bar. You see a couple of like kind of waitresses, and there's three guys kind of at a table in the corner, and then there's another guy that's like playing a piano. He doesn't look like he's like the official piano player. He's just there playing the piano.
Oh, I guess we need to inquire into obtaining us a room for the evening.
Sure. Yeah. So if you go up to the barkeep or whoever, or maybe one of the girls comes up to you, they have rooms available. They tell you. Let's see. So they say, sure, of course we have rooms on the second floor. They are $1.25 per day. It includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But you got to eat them when we make them, or you got to pay extra for that.
Sounds good. How much for a bath? How much extra for a bath?
Bath is $1.
All right. Sounds good. What's that?
You want clean water, right?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay, hold on. That might be more expensive.
At the mention of the extra cost, Angelo looks towards the girl and goes,
Yeah, fresh
"No,
water.
just the wash basin in the room is good enough for me to clean up. Thank you, though."
Yeah, there's a wash basin in your room, and they'll bring hot water up to you for no charge. But yeah, if you want a bath with fresh water, it's $1. If you're okay with the dirty water, they just
Yeah, so that'd be $2.25 and all.
$2.25 for to stay at the hotel and to also get a bath. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll put down my my money for that. No problem.
Great. Let me show you to your room. And then she starts. Is everybody else getting a room too?
Yeah, and Angelo would request, separate rooms for each of them, of course.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So they show you to your rooms. They're nice. There's a bed. There's like a little place you can hang your stuff. There's a table. There's a little wash basin. There's a mirror and a window. All the rooms kind of run on a hallway like this, and then at the end of the hallway facing the street, you can walk out into the balcony. That's like public space. You can actually walk to the balcony and see the street. You don't have to go in your room without being inside your room.
I would like to have the room, but I am also interested in having a lady companion.
Ah. See. So she says, for the night or just for a little while?
Well, for a little while.
50 cents.
No, for the night.
$2.
Oui. And then he pulls out his crumpled dollar and puts it on the table.
Okay. She scoops it up and puts it in her pocket, and then she kind of like puts her arm around you and starts walking up the stairs.
Sacre bleu! And he goes up there looking very happy.
Okay. All right. So you've got your lady. So you're getting your bath, Ginny. What's Angelo doing?
Angelo goes in his room and he closes the door. And if it's got a key lock or any type of lock, he locks the door. And he starts to take off this duster that he's wearing and the travel clothes. And he unpacks a fresh suit of clothes. But he goes to the water basin and he fills it full with the warm water that was given. And he gets out his shaving brush and some shaving cream, and he starts to shave, and he takes one swipe down his face as he does. He lays the razor back down, very almost like a child, just lays it back down very calmly on the deal. He reaches over with his left hand and grabs the bottle of whiskey and takes a swig. He sets it back down, picks up the razor, and he takes another swash down his face of the cream and stuff coming off to freshly shave, and he lays the razor back down, picks up the bottle. And he goes through this routine until he's completely washed and shaved, and dressed in these fine clothes, and he puts the bottle back in his saddlebags, and then he pulls out this bottle of the lime after deodorant or after a shave and splashes his face real good, and not enough to be too pungent, but just enough to give the smell of it off. And he goes back down to the hotel, and he's actually looking for the well-dressed man. It appears to be from the east, the Spaniard.
Okay. Yeah. So you actually see him down there, and the two of them are sitting together. Actually, the two people that came, they're sitting. They seem to be enjoying a beer at a table.
Yeah, and he would approach them, and whenever we get to that.
Yeah. So if you approach them, they look up and they say, they raise their glass. And they say, "Ah, friend, have a seat."
Oh, well, thank you. I believe I will for just a moment. I was recently arrived here and noticed that you two come in on a stagecoach this evening. Appears that, and he looks towards the Spaniard at first, and it appears that either you are from back east, or did you recently arrive from the motherland?
So the Spanish guy, who seems like you're addressing him, so he starts to like clear his throat, start talking. The other guy that's like really overly dressed goes, "It's good that you found us, sir, because I am selling life insurance, and I can tell that you need it. You obviously take care of yourself, but you never know when things are going to happen. You have to look to the future. Let me introduce myself. I am Louis Armand, life insurance salesman from New York City." And he takes out like a calling card, but he doesn't give it to you. He shows it to you, and he puts it back in his pocket.
Angelo looks towards him and lets him go through his spiel, and he goes, "My name is Angelo Rossi. I am also from back east. I have a lot of family there in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as life insurance, my life insurance," and he points towards the sky, "my life insurance comes from above. I serve the good Lord, and when it's time for him to call me home, I have no recollection of that date or time, but he will, and that's the only life insurance I need. But thank you, good sir, for your kind offer." And he looks back towards the Spaniard.
I understand what you're saying there, but remember, life insurance is not for you; it's for your family. And then he starts to talk more, but then the other guy interrupts him. He says, "Good to make your acquaintance. I'm Antonio Mendoza. Actually, my family has been here for 2 generations here in the States, and I'm here to recover something that is mine."
Ah, that's good. I guess my grandfather was the first one to come over from Italy, and I have some cousins. In fact, one of them there in New York by the name of Amadeo Rossi is he's trying to do something with firearms. I don't know if he ever will come ahead on that, but maybe one day. He's a fine young lad. But anyway, my calling was to serve the Lord, and I've come out here to see if I can establish maybe a fine establishment to serve the Lord. But of course, things need to be done with money sometimes, and it seems that I found myself on the last few dollars I have. I understand these miners are doing quite a bit of work here, but I was thinking maybe you look like a man of investment, maybe that you were bringing some type of business here.
Well, my great-grandfather discovered, looks around, gold. And he made a map. And that map has been taken by a low-down scoundrel, and it is mine, and I intend to get it.
Yes, thieves are not looked upon at all in the good book. They should be brought to justice here on earth as well in the heavens.
Indeed, indeed. So as this is going on, Crystal, your Ginny is finishing up her bath, and she, it's kind of like in a sectioned off area or whatever. And you get, dressed or whatever, and you kind of come out and you're heading back towards where the main part of the hotel is. You're in this like kind of side area, and you actually see this older gentleman. He's kind of like a little short. He's like a little pudgy and stuff. He's got a long beard. He's got like a kind of a rough hat on, and he seems to be peeking into the main part of the hotel, like the saloon part of it, like looking at something. He doesn't notice you at first. And when you kind of approach him, he turns. And he's like, he tips his hat. He says, greetings, young lady.
Greetings, good sir. Can I help you with something?
Just there's bad people in town, and I'm just trying.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those bounty hunters?
Oh no! I'm a businessman, and if you could do something for me, I could do something for you.
I'm not a prostitute.
No. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. He reaches kind of into like his pocket, and he pulls out a little piece of gold. It's like a little gold nugget, which even that little tiny piece of gold is probably worth like about $50 at least. And he shows it to you, and he says, "I need to get to my room. If you could, distract the people in the saloon so I can get up the stairs, this could be yours. I'm in room number 4." He puts it back in his pocket, and he steps back.
Okay. And who is it I'm distracting? Just everyone in the room in general?
Well, he looks out there and he says, yeah. You see those 3 over there? And he kind of like puts his head towards it, and you see Angelo sitting with 2 men that you saw get off the stagecoach. He says, I think they're bounty hunters. And they're after the wrong man.
I see. Well, let me see what I can do.
Much obliged. Room number 4. And he steps back, so he's kind of out of view.
I will. I'll walk over there, and my friend Angelo's being there, of course. I will say, "Oh, Angelo, that bath was just what I needed." And I'm kind of posing myself a little bit seductively, kind of like fanning myself a little bit to put on a little bit of a show.
Oh, well, thank you for coming over. And Angelo stands up and pulls the chair out, and he says, "I'll meet these 2 fine gentlemen that just arrived in town today also." And he introduces Jenny to the 2 gentlemen there.
And they stand up, and they kind of give you a tip of the hat, and they the younger man says, "I'm Antonio Mendoza, and this is my acquaintance who I met on the way, Louis Amand." And of course, immediately Louis goes into the spiel about the life insurance.
Wow, life insurance, really? Wow, that's so interesting. And she'll sit down, and she'll kind of like grab his hands and pull him down with her. And she kind of looks into his eyes and says, "Why don't you tell me all about this?" And she kind of looks at the other guy as well. See if he'll sit down with him.
Yeah, the other guy politely sits down and starts talking to Angelo. Probably happy to not be having this conversation. And yeah, you definitely nobody seems to take any notice as the old man creeps past and goes up the stairs. Then you get the spiel about the life insurance if you want any.
Yeah. I sit there and I just nod and seem as interested as possible about the business, and just seem like a doe in the headlights and ask way too many dumb questions.
Yeah, it does not cover death by suicide, Indian attack, or disappearance, though. But you can get a policy from between $10 and $100, and it pays to 10 times the policy if you die.
Wow, 10 times. Now, you said it doesn't cover what's suicide? Well, now, what's that again? That it doesn't cover that?
All right. He kind of mumbles himself. Women. Jeez. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, and he goes back and starts trying to pitch it to Angelo. So yeah, you guys are down there. They're drinking and stuff. Did you anything else you want to ask these guys or talk to them about while you're there? They basically are just having dinner, and they invite you to have dinner with them if you desire.
Yeah, Angela would stay for dinner with him.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I love that. Dinner with you.
they pay too. So well, actually, you get it's part of your room, so you don't have to pay for it. So they buy drinks and stuff, and they seem to be happy to be here. I mean, you get from them that they met on the road, like they definitely didn't come together, and they're just both kind of out doing their thing. The one guy is trying to get back what was taken of his this map, and the other guy is trying to sell insurance.
Interesting. Do you have any clues on the whereabouts of said map?
Oh, I do. Dr. Jack has it. He's been seen coming into this town every few months on a mule and then using small gold nuggets to pay for things that he's obviously getting from the mine that belongs to my family.
Wow, that sounds like a tough situation to be in.
That's right. My great-grandfather killed all of those Indians. I deserve that money.
Yeah, I mean, when you kill a bunch of Indians, you're kind of entitled to the gold they were sitting on.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if there's anything I can do to help, I promise you that, you'll be the first person I come to if I see anything strange.
This guy, let me know. And he actually describes the guy that you saw. Right? He's kind of an older guy with a beard. He's like, he should be in these parts. And if you see him, be careful. He's very dangerous.
I believe that.
Give you a reward of $100 if we find the mine.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Wow.
You could settle down, have a husband.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that. If I see anything, I'll for sure let you know. I promise.
Perfect. Thank you. And you probably occasionally see Henry, his door open and close with the food coming in and out and drinks.
Henry at this time actually opens the door and looking totally exhausted. He walks out as and says, "Mon chéri, I shall be back a little later." And then he trudges down the stairs and waves at his friends and says, "So, what has been happening down here?"
Yeah, and the two men introduce themselves, and you get the spiel about the life insurance as well.
Life insurance? Tell me, how much do you pay?
You pay between $10 and $100, and if you die, your family or whoever the policyholder will get 10 times that amount.
So if I give you $10 and I die, someone else gets $100?
That is correct.
But I shall be dead. Oui?
Oui.
That does not sound like a very good deal.
Well, remember, life insurance is not for you. It's for those you leave behind.
He looks at Jenny and Angelo at this point and says, shakes his head. Well, I shall consider it another time then. And he sits down and joins them in dinner.
Okay. Yeah, the place picks up. It gets like a little bit. Doesn't get as like rowdy, but it definitely gets full of people, and people drink. And at about 10:30 or so, assuming you don't leave before then, they do like a last call.
Yeah, actually around 10, something like that. Maybe a little bit before the last call. I will excuse myself from these gentlemen, and I will head upstairs, acting like I'm heading towards my bedroom. But I'll go down a little bit lower, and I will softly tap on room 4.
Okay. You hear like a little bit of shuffling, and then the lock like opens, and then he opens it up a little bit, and it's kind of like, "Are you alone?"
Of course.
"Come in," and he opens the door. And you see, like in his arm, like below, he has a shotgun. He's not pointing at you; he's just holding it.
Yeah. I'll walk in, and I'll have a seat, and I'll like kind of show him that I open my jacket a little bit, and I'll reach in and grab out a tin of cigarettes, and I'll open it up and offer him one.
He takes one. And he reaches into like his little pouch that he has, or pack, and he puts the little gold coin, the little gold nugget in your hand. And he says, "That was a close one. I'm gonna have to get out of town, I think."
Yeah, they said some interesting things.
We spoke to them.
Well, one of them seemed enthusiastic to give up a lot of information. And I will take out my flask of whiskey, and I'll take a sip and make a small face, and I'll offer him a little bit.
He takes it.
Yeah, they said something about a lot of Indians dying on top of gold mine.
Yeah, he like leans back and says, "Well, that's true. As you can see from how I paid you, I've got a gold mine. People have been trying to take my gold mine for a long time, but they're not going to get it."
However you got it, more power to you. I'm thinking, maybe you could use a little bit of help moving your supplies around. I mean, you're already having a hard time getting in and out of town, right? I have a few friends that would be interested in helping you get supplies in and out, for a simple, let's call it weekly paycheck. And I'll light up my cigarette.
Well, ma'am, it's not really. The only problem I have is that Spaniard. If he were eliminated, I wouldn't have any kind of a problem. I've been mining this mine for 10 years.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know any assassins. I mean, but think about this. If we were to eliminate this Spaniard problem of yours, eventually you're going to have another problem. It's just going to be another large fee to hire some gun off the street. Or you could pay a small amount to a few people to run supplies back and forth for you.
Mendoza, that's the Spaniard, is the last of his line. No one else has a claim on this. He just needs to be gone. If I can get out of town, I don't care what you do. You don't have to kill him. But if you could get him out of town, that would help me. In which case, I could give you. I don't need help getting supplies in and out. I don't need anybody to know where my mine is. No offense. You understand.
Understand? And how much would this? How much would getting this guy out of town? How much would that payment be worth for you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if you have an entire mine of these, and I kind of fumble the rock around in my hand a little bit, thinking maybe a small bag full of these wouldn't hurt to get rid of, right?
Well, don't have a whole. I mean, it's not easy to get that gold. It took me 3 months to dig out 4 pieces. But I'll tell you what, that's hard-earned money. I don't just have piles of gold. If I did, I would be living in a mansion. I know that you city folks think about gold as like big bars of gold sitting around, but we dig it out.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so I mean,
Another
still
maybe this big guy, maybe. Let me see what I got.
okay.
Or just don't say anything and be happy with the one you got. I'm going to be out of town tomorrow, hopefully.
I'm sorry. What did he say would be the payment for getting rid of them? I couldn't.
He'll probably get you another piece like about this big.
Oh, okay. Well, Yeah, it's worth considering. And I will place that nugget in my pocket. And I will put my cigarette out. And I'll say, well, you have yourself a nice, peaceful rest.
Thanks. And he lets you out, and then you can hear like the table being slid up against the door.
Yep. And then I'll make my way to my own room.
Down in the bar, it's around 10:30, and they're making a last call. Is there anything else you guys want to do down in the bar before the night closes?
No, Angelo, in fact, would retire to his room. Maybe 5 minutes after Jeannie left.
Okay.
After having dinner for about 10 minutes or so, along with those guys, Henry would have already went up there.
Oh.
But before the last call, the door opens up, and Henry stumbles out of the place, and walks down to the two gentlemen.
Okay. They're still there. They welcome you. Welcome.
At this point, he looks thoroughly drunk and pretty exhausted, but in his hand, he has a little pouch and says, you have piqued my interest in that life insurance. Here is my $5. If I die, I want the priest to receive the proceeds.
Smart man. And so he says, I will fill out the contract and have it to you in the morning. Because I was aiming for the money.
Bon. Very good, then. I wish you a good night. And he goes up there.
Yeah, he takes the money and puts it in his little briefcase. And then night falls. Then morning comes. And so they have breakfast in the morning. You can hear like people moving around or whatever. If you're not up before like sunrise, I don't know if you guys get super early, but you would hear people downstairs like starting to get the breakfast ready. You can smell the eggs cooking and the sausage or whatever, and coffee, and that's included in your room. So yeah, if you guys want to head downstairs in the morning, you may. Unless it's something else you want to do.
Yeah, Angelo, of course, would be up early and cleanly shaven, and also a few swigs from his bottle as he covers it up with his lime. But he would be downstairs because he would definitely want to talk to his two companions about trying to find this man for the Spaniard.
Okay. Yes, you guys are whatever. You have a table, maybe having breakfast together. Let's see. Yeah, the Spaniard is not in the breakfast area when you were down there. At least you're not sure where. You haven't seen him. But the insurance guy immediately goes to Henry with a contract. First thing, he's got like a 10-page contract. He's like, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. And he has you put your mark on it.
Angelo looks towards Henry and he goes, "It is none of my business what you are doing there, but I believe I would check in the town and see if they have one of those attorney at laws here and have them read through that first before you sign your life away to something that is oh, never mind."
This guy looks at you and he says, "Sir, I'm a businessman and I will try not to be offended by your words. This is fully legal and you are free to show it to the judge if you'd like."
I'm sitting there eating my eggs and bacon and sipping my coffee, and I say, yeah, I mean, come on, this guy looks totally trustworthy. I mean, no, I would trust him. Sadly, I don't have any money to give to life insurance.
Well, women, you're not as likely to die anyways. More easily placed. But the men, you need to make sure you have life insurance. No offense. He drinks coffee.
Oh, no, of course. No, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so then, yeah, I mean, he leaves after you sign this. If you assume you sign it. If not, then he just takes it back until you do whatever. And now you guys are alone, so you can have whatever discussion that you want to have in private.
after he leaves, Angelo would just explain to his two companions about what the Spaniard explained, of course, about trying to find this man, and that it would pay very well for us to do that. And he definitely wants to give the description to them so we can be on the lookout for him. Because at this point, he has no idea about Jenny and what she's been through.
Yeah. So Jenny is gonna say, yeah, it sounds like a rough situation to be in. She finishes a cup of coffee and she says, Angelo, would you mind getting me one more cup of coffee, please? I'd very much appreciate it.
Do they not have the girls here to bring the coffee to you? I mean, I don't mind doing that, but I would like to enjoy my last bite of eggs first.
I think Henry must have worn one of those girls out.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely girls walking around that you could signal if you wanted to. I mean, they're there.
Fine, yeah. Oh well, yeah, you're right. I'll just have one of them do it.
They do. I mean, if you signal for coffee, they'll come over to you. They're like serving people. It's fairly. I mean, the hotel only has like 10 rooms, so there's not that many people from the hotel itself getting breakfast. But there's a lot of people you can talk. The people in the town, like that work in the various parts of the town. Some of them are eating there. You can see like people you hadn't seen, like people that came in last night and stuff. They were drinking. They weren't necessarily part of the the staff. Cool. All right. So what do you guys want to do? You're eating breakfast.
Kim left.
Oh, he's out. So you're eating breakfast at the High Pass Hotel in Deadwood.
I mean, Angelo would just reiterate the story and to them too again.
Yeah. I mean, are you sure that this guy was telling the truth though about that? I mean, assuming there was a gold mine, that would be something worth lying about, claiming that you had rights to it you didn't have.
Possibly, but the Spaniard fellow is a very well-established businessman, and he's not like the man trying to sell the life after death that has no real substance, as you have seen. But the Spaniard, I admire him.
Did someone bring their baby in here?
Sorry,
That's
guys.
That's at the table. That's at the other table over there.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Henry notices that the girl that he was with last night now has a baby with her. But you're pretty sure it's not yours.
But mon chéri, the baby is crying. It's time for the milk.
So yeah, so what is it that you guys want to do today? Because normal stuff's happening in town. You actually see while you're on your table, I suppose I should mention, they also gave you a complimentary copy of the Dead Mule Gazette, which is like the local paper. And it's got a little bit of information, assuming you read it, that like people that have like births and deaths that have happened, and people that have got married, all the local happenings. It seems like the editor has a few pieces in some editorial pieces in there about how the sheriff doesn't, isn't strong enough against the ruffians that are in town, and that the place is very dangerous. Although you probably, from your experience of only being here one night, doesn't seem so dangerous to you. It seems like it's really whoever runs the paper probably doesn't like the sheriff very much. You get that feeling. But otherwise,
Angelo would just look towards Henry and Henry. I think it's best that I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little low on money, and just we've got a few days, of course, here at the hotel. I mean, at the stables, but the hotel, I don't know. We need to maybe try to find this man for the Spanish businessman. What do you think?
I think that is a good idea. 100 gold. Oui?
$100, 100 gold. Yeah, we would definitely be funding this guy.
Oh, 100 gold. Baby.
Speaking of gold, what if the other guy, that has this mine and everything, what if he has gold? Maybe he'd be willing to, get rid of the Spaniard and give us a little bit of gold.
What do you mean by get rid of?
I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, just get the guy out of town. I mean, I guess we would have to find this guy and talk to him first.
So you're saying that maybe we take this guy away from the town and we will get paid? And on the other hand, we find the mine and we get paid.
Well, the best thing,
like a win-win. Sounds like a good way to hedge our bets to me.
well, the best thing we can do is find this man for the Spaniard and turn him over to the Spaniard and let them handle their own dealings, and we will obtain our money for that.
Maybe before we make a very rash decision, maybe we should visit the local sheriff and see if there is a bounty on any of these people. If the deal be with us, then maybe one of them would have a bounty on them.
That's an excellent idea. Why don't you proceed to the sheriff's office and just see if there's any type of wanted persons? Of course, we haven't seen the man that the Spaniard's looking for. He gave us a very good description, but you could at least see if the Spaniard or the life after death man is posted up there.
Yeah, I'll go with you. Maybe I can get a little information out of the sheriff, saying I'll undo a button on my shirt.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm going to wait on you here at the hotel in case I see anyone matching the description of what the Spaniard told me.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Keep a sharp eye out.
So they head over to the sheriff's office.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so it's pretty much right there. It doesn't take you can walk along the boardwalk. Yep.
While we're on our way over there, is there anywhere I could pull Henry off to like the side a little bit?
Jenny, you want to talk?
Yeah.
I mean, you have the whole town. Show you the map. Like you're right here. You walk out of the saloon here. The sheriff's office is right there. So I mean, yeah. If we assume you're right here, you're. I mean, there's people around. If you want to go away from people, you could go behind the buildings. You could go over here. I mean, anywhere you want. It's
like a little. Is there a wall between the sheriff's office and the hotel right there, or is there like a alleyway we could go into?
This is a wall. No, that's a wall. Yeah, you'd have to go around the back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll actually say, let's not go through the front door. We don't ever want everyone knowing our business. Let's see if there's a back door. And then
you want to go through the back door?
Yeah, we don't want everyone. We don't want people seeing us actually enter the. I mean, what if there was a, vigilante watching us right now? We wouldn't want them to see that we're on the sheriff's side. You know what I mean?
Well, as far as I am concerned, we are not wanted for anything. And
no, I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying if there were another vigilante somewhere, we wouldn't want them to think we're part of the sheriff. You know what I mean? So when we get to the side of the sheriff building there, if he'll agree to go around.
Then we do it your way.
Yeah. So we'll go around to the side of the sheriff building, and then I'll kind of stop and say, "Hey, listen," and I'll kind of reach into my jacket and making sure there's no one around. I'll show Henry this gold nugget that I received.
Mon Dieu, it's a gold nugget.
Yeah, it is.
Where did you find it?
Let's just say that I may know the whereabouts of Jack. Now, listen, this Spaniard thing is $100. That's all good, but this Jack fella, he actually has the mine, and let's just say that he's offered me one more of these to to get rid of his problem. Now, we turn these things in. There's no telling how much money we're going to get off of them. A lot more than a measly $100.
That is very lucrative. But how do you plan on doing this? You want to kill the Spaniard?
No, I'm not keen on killing anyone necessarily. He said we only have to get the guy out of town. But of course, most likely the Spaniard would just come right back.
Then we have to persuade the Spaniard that there is no mine here, or that the mine is empty.
Yeah, you might have a good point there. The problem is, I don't think the priest is going to go along with such an idea. You know what I mean?
But then I would have to think that someone from the north, from the New York City, would take the gold from the people, the local town. During the war, I used a lot of dynamite. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If we find the, how do you say, the mine, maybe we could blow up the entrance, but we would know where it is. And we go back to the Spaniard and tell him that there is no mine, that it has collapsed long ago.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. But we'll have to figure out a way to falsify some kind of map or something.
If you know the person, then he already knows where the mine is. So we would strike an accord and say that we seal the mine. It's a simple matter.
Tell you what if when we go back to the hotel, we will sneak into this guy's room and see if I can find anything, and you can watch the door for me.
Well, let us talk to the Angelo and have his take on it. I would hate to break up what our intentions are. We are three friends after all.
So as you guys circle around, the sheriff's office is actually closed up. So I guess you're walking slowly because you had all that conversation, but it's actually closed. There's like a "Be Right Back" sign on it. So you're like between the sheriff's office and in this back area. So that being said, Angela, you're on the front porch out here.
Well, no, I was going to stay inside. Still stay inside, like the table we were eating at.
Okay. Yeah. So you're inside. People are coming and going. Nothing really super exciting happens. You don't see the Spaniard at all. Eventually, the insurance guy goes away. He goes out the front door and heads up the street. He's mumbling something about it's perfectly legal. Yeah. So he's heading out there. You guys you see the sheriff's office is closed, and maybe I'm assuming you start to head back around this way, and you also see the guy he's walking towards this building.
Before we head back, like, is there like a window on the door or anything like that, or a window I could look in?
On the sheriff's office? Yeah, in the front there's windows. Yeah, there's no windows in the back, but in the front there's windows. Yeah, there's like a window. There's like a barred. Yeah, there's a window on the door. That has to be there.
Okay. Can I see if like while I look inside, like, can I see a place where there might be wanted posters or anything like that?
Yeah, there's wanted posters. I mean, they're actually inside.
Yeah. Okay, but there's definitely a place on the wall where they do have some.
Yeah, you walk right past. I
Okay.
thought you were going to talk to the sheriff. If you had said that before, I would have told you. See, they're right here. I mean, they're on the boardwalk. They put them right outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when we're walking back, then I'll just listen.
Yeah, none of them seem to show any of the three people that you're thinking of. Although you think one of them looks similar to one of the guys you were playing poker with, except he has a beard. Currently, the guy you play poker with, and in the picture, this guy doesn't have a beard. But you think his eyes look a little similar.
Okay, interesting.
How much is the bounty on him?
It's a $50 bounty.
Ooh, wow. That's something else. That's good info.
That man on the poster, doesn't he look familiar?
Yeah, he does. I think we were playing poker with him yesterday.
The big one, yeah?
Yeah. I tell you what, let's go get our friend and maybe give him this information. This might be a good way for us to earn a little money while we think on that other situation.
C'est bon.
So yeah, I guess with that we'll head back to the hotel.
Okay, yeah, you head back. The town is it's maybe like 10 o'clock in the morning now, so 9:30, 10 o'clock, people are moving, doing things in the street. And you pop in there and you see your friend waiting patiently.
And I'll sit down and I'm lowering my voice and I'll pull out my cigarettes again and I'll pop it open. I'll offer one to my companions.
Those are the work of the devil, child.
Oh, well, I mean, I figured it came from the earth. I mean,
Isa, Padre, we have something to tell you. Where, Jenny? You want to tell him?
Yeah, Jenny will go ahead and take one of her own since her companions, I guess, don't take one. And she'll light it up. She says, well, we didn't see either of those two fellows on the board. But there was another gentleman that we both recognized. We played poker with him yesterday. He has a bounty on him worth $50.
Angelo doesn't say anything for probably a good minute as he listens to you tell him this, and he looks back and he goes, I am not youthful as much as I used to be. My job is not one of being a bounty hunter for low-life bandits as such. That is something I will have to study the good word on and pray about. But that has no bearing or interest on me right now. The businessman that I've spoken with, and he puts off a good aura of what I feel about him, and I'm going to continue to watch for this man he has described.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Angelo, don't you feel that a little bit guilty, knowing that some grandchild of a person who has found the mine comes after many, many years and claims that it is his?
I will retire to my room and research and study the good book and put myself in fervent prayer and
yeah. Sounds like a great idea, Father. I really want you to pray about this bandit, because you got to think, this guy's out there hurting people. He's out there robbing. He's out there maybe even murdering.
What was the wanted poster for, dear child? You never have said.
What's that?
Yeah, okay. It was so the guy is One-Eyed Lopez. That's probably why you noticed him, because he only has one eye. He's wanted for murder and horse stealing.
He's wanted for murder and horse stealing. He's out there killing people, robbing them, taking their horses, their livelihood, and their lives.
You did not speak to the sheriff and to tell the sheriff where you saw him at. That's man of the badge. Should handle that.
He seems to be out for the morning.
Go to the general store. He likes to hang out there.
Okay.
The sheriff?
Yes, I saw him there yesterday while I was obtaining a new razor.
What kind of man is he?
Oh, I did not speak to him except to say hello and good tidings, but he puts across a very good light about him. I think he would appear to be a very decent man from what it appears.
Well, then that is all I need to know. Let's go and talk to the sheriff and find out what we can.
Jenny will nod and she'll put out her cigarette when she's like finished with it. She'll agree to go over there.
Angelo returns to his room and locks it and starts the process of pulling out his Bible first, and then he pulls out one of the bottles of the old whiskey that he has brought with him, and he says, "Oh, those two are going to get us into trouble that do not feel as our calling. Oh, let me pray about this."
Meanwhile, as he's walking down the street, he pulls out his six-shooter and he's studying his gun. And he looks at it. He turns that little drum and puts it back in, and puts his gun back to his holster. He looks over to Jenny and says, "Well, it doesn't seem like the Fader is with us. What is
Yeah.
what is your opinion?"
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Well, let's talk to the sheriff. Let's see if we can get a small reward for maybe pointing out the whereabouts of a criminal. I mean, I don't feel like taking on this one-eyed Pete myself. So if I can just maybe we can get a small reward for pointing the sheriff in the right direction.
Henry nods and proceeds to the trading post.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are going on the trading post. Angelo is praying. Let's take a 5-minute break and we'll see what goes down.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I'm back, guys.
Welcome back. Right back, Crystal. Oh, yep. Okay. All right, cool.
Back again.
Everybody's back. Cool. Let me get the map up. Where'd it go? Cool. All right. Okay, so you're going into the trading post. Angelo is drinking and praying. Cool. Actually, Angelo. So as you go up to the room to do your prayers, or you go into your room and like maybe you're just starting to do your you get your Bible out, you're starting to get your thing going with your shaving. You hear a very light knock on your door.
He immediately puts the bottle back in the saddlebags to be hidden and lays the razor down and has the book open, the good book, and then goes to the door and opens it, with probably still partially shaving cream on his face.
You see the old man, that's been described to you. He's kind of a short old guy with a beard. He's in like kind of a prospector clothing type thing, and he's looking back and forth down the hallway just to make sure like nobody's seeing him. And he says, good sir, I need your help."
Angelo doesn't say anything for quite a while because he's eyeing this man up and down when it dawns upon him who this man is, and he says, "I believe I may need your help also."
Can we speak inside? Can we speak inside? And he's looking back and forth.
Well, please do come inside.
Okay, he steps in quickly.
Angelo closes and locks the door.
Okay. Cool. So cutting back to outside, you guys walk to the trading post, and when you do, you see it as I described earlier. It's basically a fairly large open space with lots of like piles of various things. This morning is pretty busy in there. There's about 10, looks like prospectors like going through things and sorting out their. You can see them counting out their money, trying to figure out, what they can afford, and you can just kind of eyeballing stuff. You can see that the prices are much higher than they probably should be because of the demand is so high. Like these like. Mining pans, that would have been like 10 cents before, like $1, and these guys are like trying to figure out what they can afford. And you do see a kind of a tall figure in the back, kind of dressed nicely with a gun on his side that matches the description that Angelo gave you of the lawman. And you kind of look at him for a second, you can see that he's got a badge. It's not like sticking right on his shirt, but he's got it under the vest, but you can definitely just see it. He looks at you. And then he just kind of looks at you when you walk in, and then he just goes back to kind of just like scanning the place in general. He doesn't address you or anything. He's at the back of the place.
Okay, I don't want to address him at first. First, I'm going to we'll walk up to the counter, I'm gonna say to the person behind the counter, looks like you're rather busy this morning.
Yes, yes. There's gold in the hills, they say.
That's what they say.
Up with the business.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a prospector personally, and I'll take out my little cigarette can and I'll say, I'm getting low here and hoping to fill back up, and I'll open it up and I only have 3 or 4 cigarettes left. So, how much for a pack of Luckies?
Yeah, it's like a nickel.
Oh, sounds like a really good deal. Yeah, I'll take a pack of Luckies.
Yeah.
And I'll start, and then I'm gonna head to the. I'm gonna place down a nickel for him, and then we'll head to the back. I'm gonna start loading my cigarettes into my tin there, and say, "Evening, Sheriff." And I'm gonna, as I'm filling up my tin, I'll offer him one of my cigarettes or morning.
He tips his hat and he says, "Well, you have me mistaken, ma'am. I'm the marshal. I think the sheriff's across the way. But I can understand the mistake. From such a lovely lady like you, you probably don't have much dealings with the law."
I'll kind of blush a little bit and giggle. Yeah, you're right about that. I try to be a good girl.
So how can I help?
Out of character, what's the difference between marshal and sheriff?
So a marshal is like more territorial, where a sheriff is like for the town. So the sheriff like is in charge of the town's law. The marshal is like the whole territory's law. So they're kind of above them in a sense. I'm not sure, like they have more jurisdiction.
Well, as good as I try to be, sometimes I happen to run into bad men. I mean, no offense, but you being a man, you can understand how some men are. Not all of them, of course. And I'll kind of brush my hand across his chest a little bit.
He looks at you. He said, "Did somebody hurt you, ma'am?" And he kind of like he stiffens up.
Says, I'll say, well, I saw one of those bad men on a poster on the sheriff's office, and I thought I might have seen him in town.
Oh, I see.
But I mean, me being a woman and all, sometimes it can be hard to come across money. I'm just wondering if there could be any kind of reward for turning in such information. I mean, I don't want to turn to prostitution,
He kind of eyeballs you. He says, "Well, woman's got to do what she's got to do. Sure, information leading to the arrest of a wanted criminal could bring up to $5 reward, depending on the circumstances and the criminal. And where did you say you saw this man?"
I know I've seen him somewhere around town. $5, that's a lot. And if he were apprehended by some other gallant cowboy, how much would that cowboy get for turning this man in personally?
Well, that would depend on the crimes committed by the perpetrator. Typically, the wanted man could range anywhere from $10 to $600, depending on their crimes.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Well, if I see this man again, I'll make sure that I get his exact location for you. I mean, $5, that's a lot of money.
It is. Be safe, young lady.
Thank you, Marshal. And I will give him a wink, and then I'll walk out with my full canister of cigarettes.
At this point, Henri is by the shopkeep.
Mhm.
He leans over to the counter and he asks him, "So, pardon, do you have some dynamite? Do you sell dynamite here?"
Well, unfortunately, due to the weather here, dynamite does not keep very well. So typically we don't use it. Sometimes the railroads have it and they'll bring it in, but I haven't seen any dynamite for months.
Uh,
Besides, that's dangerous. You should just use a fishing pole like everybody else, man.
well, this is definitely quicker to use a dynamite and blow up piles of fish all at once. You get to earn a lot of money that way.
It's quicker, but it's dangerous. You know, I had a cousin who blew off his foot that way.
Where does your cousin live?
He lives in the Nevada territory.
That is pretty far away. Well then, tell me, shopkeep, what can you tell about the town? Have you been here for a long time?
About 15 years.
Do you know anything about the gold rush many years ago?
Yeah, I do. They found some gold down in the canyons out there, and seems like 2 or 3 parties located various sources, and then there became a bit of a turf war. A lot of people died.
Then what happened?
Well, nobody could figure out where the gold was, so they went away. I think they went to San Francisco.
That means that they never found the gold after all that conflict?
That's right.
So that must be what the prospectors here are all looking for.
I imagine that's the case. Yeah.
So what is the reason why there is a sudden new boom in the town?
About a month ago, this guy come in with a small bag, gold powder, gold dust. Seems like he either panned it or possibly scraped it from a vein close to the surface.
Do you know the guy's name? And then he slides him 50 cents.
He puts his hand down and he says, I think it was Smith.
And where does the Mr. Smith live?
Well, that's the funny thing, right? He came back a couple times with some gold. He even started that old camp out there, but I haven't seen him in at least a couple of weeks. Maybe he's out to get in a bigger take. He's going to come back. He got 4 mules last time, left, didn't come back.
That is very strange. Where is this camp? He slides him. He slides him another 50 cents.
He takes it and he says, "You most likely rode right through it when you came into town, no?"
No. Tell me how the camp would look like.
So, if you step out the door here and look to your left, you'll see it. It's a whole bunch of tents, a whole bunch of people.
That camp. I have seen it, but Mr. Smith, does he have a first name?
John Smith.
That is a very generic name. Oui?
Yeah. I think they sometimes call him Jack.
Jack. Oh, okay. Then maybe I will go and talk to Jean or Jacques Schmidt. Thank you. And then he nods and heads over to the marshal.
Cool. All right, Marshall's there. He's finishing up with your friend, and he nods. He says, "Hey there."
Bonjour, Marshal.
Bonjour.
So, you're the U.S. Marshal. Oui?
That is correct.
I see the difference between the badges. It's not very often that one sees this badge out here.
Well, there's been some word of some criminals that I've been following up on. Oop. Did you just go and come back? Are you back, young? Nope. I see him, but he's not back. Now he's muted.
Pardon, but I just could not understand what you are saying. As you know, I'm from France, and English is not my first language.
Ah, I'll speak slow for you. There's some criminals in the area we're tracking down with some bounties on their head. You look like a pretty well-equipped young man. If I need to get a posse together, perhaps I could call on you.
Well, thank you for calling me young. I'm 43 years old, but I'm very happy to join you on a posse. Possibly there is a bounty that you will be willing to share with the likes of those who joined your posse.
Well, of course.
That is good. Who are these outlaws?
So he kind of leans in close. He says, have you heard of the Matamoros gang?
No.
Yeah, they did a lot of cattle rustling, some horse thieving, and some murders down in Mexico way. And they're over here now. We got extradition. You know what that is? Mexico.
Oui. That would be a French word.
Mm-hmm.
Oui.
Yes, it is. I don't know. He says, Mexico going to give us what we need. We're going to give them these criminals. I just got to find them first.
Have you any clues?
Well, I know that they like gold, and I know that there's a gold rush here, so hanging out, waiting to see what happens.
How many does he have in his party?
I believe it is a dozen, the last check.
Oh, mon Dieu. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about the mines in the area?
No, just these men out here looking for gold. I know that some was found, but most of these guys come back with little tiny bits and pieces they find, and nobody finding the real core.
As far as the claim, who does the found mine belong to? The recent found there, or the people who have found it many years ago?
No. I think this Smith or something found some gold. I don't think he found a full-on mine. He didn't really say much. Prospectors, they're secretive types.
Oui, monsieur. Thank you for your time. Beaucoup merci.
You're welcome.
And then he walks back and joins Jenny.
So you guys are walking out, and back in Angelo's room. So he comes in, and he still seems very nervous. And he says, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You're a preacher, right? I heard them calling you preacher.
Yes, I am a man of the word.
I might not have much longer to live, I'm going to tell you. My heart's been given out. And I need to get out of town. I need some peace. Seems there's some bad men looking for me.
What would have caused these bad men to be looking for you, gentle spirit?
They want my money. And I'm going to tell you right now, you met these men. I saw you sitting with them. But I know you're not like them. I can tell. I can see it in your eyes. They want what's rightfully mine.
Well, being a man of the word, I also am a man of family of business people. What proof do you have that will reveal that you are the rightful owner of what you say they seek?
Well, I'm no lawyer, but since I found it, finders keepers. You can't be out there looking for gold and find it and then have some other party come and say, oh, this is mine because my grandpappy found it first. I'm sorry. You left that there. It ain't yours anymore.
Angelo listens intently. He goes over to the wash basin and the little table there, and he picks up a cloth rag as he removes the rest of the shaving cream from his face and splashes some water on his face. And he looks over towards the Bible that is open, and he reads out loud. He says, Ephesians 3:16, I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his spirit in your inner being. And as I read this, and maybe it settles in on the man, I turn back towards the man with my pistol out.
Okay. He looks at you. He raises his hands up. He's like, there's no need for that kind of thing. I can pay you.
The word there has spoken to me, and you will need to face your accusers, and you three will need to work this out. So I would advise you to not try to pull anything. Even though I'm a man of the word, I've been involved with enough of this weapon of destruction to usually not miss myself. So I say we go and find the businessman and you speak with him. And what I want to do is try to pretty much hold him and try to find the Spaniard.
Okay, so you're just going to bring him out with a gun to him?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not openly going to walk out with the gun for everybody, but I'm going to have it, hid in my duster or whatever enough to, if he tries to do something, I'll shoot him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you have him go ahead of you or behind you, or how do you do it?
I'm going to have him walk first and then go down to down to the hotel lobby and hopefully try to look for the Spaniard, or we'll just sit and wait on him, I guess.
So just before he goes out the door, he looks at you and he says, look, you saw what I gave to your friend. I could give you even more. Really. And then he opens the door and starts walking out.
Yeah, when he says that, I just repeat Ephesians 3:16, and I go, the glorious riches that I serve come from not of gold. This is not my issue anymore.
Okay. All right, so you bring him out, like he's walking ahead of you, and he kind of walks out the front of the High Pass Hotel as you're kind of going onto the boardwalk there. You see your friends coming across the street.
Well, no, just to retcon, I was actually going to wait in the hotel, maybe at a table if we can.
You're going to leave there.
Yeah, I don't really want to go out into the big open. I want to stay in the hotel to see if the Spaniard comes by.
Okay. Yeah. So you go into the main area of the hotel where there's people and everything.
Yeah, kind of like and get a table, like we're going to order some food or something.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. So you sit down. He sits down with you. You can tell that he's very anxious. Um, and you're there for a couple minutes, and your friends come in the front door. I guess you guys are going back to the hotel, right? Is that where you're going?
Well, I mean, I guess I need to know, like, what time is it? I mean, like, is it getting lunchtime or?
Yeah, probably about that. 11, 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if it's getting around lunchtime, then sure, yeah, we'll go back to the hotel to get some lunch. Maybe talk over our plans, what we're going to do next.
Okay. You're going to go in the front door?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So you walk in, and you can see so you get in the back. You see Angelo sitting with Dutch Jack at a table in the back. And as you're doing that, you guys are coming in the front door. So you're coming in here. Ooh, hold on. You're coming in here, right? You can see my mouse, right? You're like around here, I guess, Tony, somewhere in the back, or do you want to be over here?
Ping it again, because Crystal, I couldn't see it.
Okay, so well, let me do this. That way it stays up there. So, do you want to be like in the back here so you can see at the front, or do you want to be like in this corner? Like, where would you put the guy?
The front door is all the way to the left. Is that the front door? Okay. Yeah, I would be in that far back then where you're talking about, where I could see the front door good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, so you're back here. Your friends start to come in the front. Kind of as this is all happening, the Spaniard actually comes not with his insurance salesman, just the Spaniard by himself. He actually starts to come through this door simultaneously because that's more dramatic. And he sees Dutch Jack, and he yells out, and he yells out, and he says, "You scum! You stole from my family!" and reaches for his pistol. At that, Dutch Jack tries to grab your pistol, Angela. So he's going to. What's your base speed? So it would be it'd be 2 plus your bravery. So your base speed is 6. Okay, let me look at his. I don't think he's as fast as you are. His base speed. They only list it with a weapon. Hold on. CBR6. I'll just do some math. I think you're faster than he is. Almost certainly. So he has a CBR6, which is fast. Just plus. Oh, so his base speed is 4, and your base speed is 6. So you're faster than he is. So he goes for his. He tries to grab your gun, because he knows where you have it. This other guy's drawing. He's actually a plus 12, so he's actually going to go first.
Ooh.
So, yeah, he's going to shoot him. Yeah, that's basically what's happening. He yells out at Dutch Jack, and he tries to take a shot at him.
Yeah, because basically about probably all this time went down, I was raising my hand up to catch the attention of the Spaniard anyway. So
yeah, exactly right. It's like you probably assumed he was going to be peaceful, but he's trying to shoot him. So he has a CBR6. So he has a cap and ball revolver. He is 4 squares away. Figure out his 2-hit cap and ball of 3 to 7. So he's medium range. So at medium range, it's 0. So he has his base chance to hit, which is 67. 53. Yeah, so he plucks him with a bullet. He can actually shoot more than once, but he only shoots him once. And let me see where it hits him. So basically the way this combat works, is when you shoot somebody, you roll for location and then for severity. So he shoots him
in the head.
That would definitely kill him. It's not a headshot though, because a headshot is usually high. Where's the? Oh, that's so funny. They have like a quick reference part in the back of the book, but it doesn't have that. Like you think that's the thing they would have. Let's see. Let me find that chart. Sorry, guys. I feel we're going to be using this for a second. Okay, so he rolled a 13 for location. Oh, yeah, he hits him in the leg. and it's but 0-0. It's a severe wound to the leg. He hits him like in the thigh and like a vein or something, and blood starts squirting out of his leg. As he's trying to reach for your weapon. Angelo, but you get to go next. You guys walking in are kind of surprised, so you're not going to go this first turn. So
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised, of course, of hearing the gunshot. Not really, probably know where it's coming from. And then he's trying to grab my pistol, and I warned him, so I had my pistol ready. I would shoot him.
Oh, you're gonna shoot the guy? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I warned him if he tried anything, and when he grabs my pistol, I'm going to defend myself.
All right. Cool.
So that's just a D100.
Yeah, it's D100, and I mean you're at point blank range, so you're going to have a plus or short range. You get a plus 10.
I rolled 63 on the die.
Okay, so your base hit is
69.
69, so you definitely hit because you'd have a 79 chance to hit him. So yeah, you hit him. So then roll percentage to see where.
40.
40, right shoulder, and then roll percentage to see severity.
Oh my gosh, a 1.
1. Oh, okay.
Huh.
That's a minor injury, which is 3 points. He's actually barely still alive. So he got shot in the leg and the shoulder. He falls to the ground. Obviously, he's trying to grab your gun. He's not going to be able to do anything on his turn because, there's no way. Like,
I just yell at him. I go, don't believe it's time for you to meet your maker. I told you not to try anything.
Okay, so you guys walking in see this gun stuff go off. So you see the Spaniard shoot his gun. You see the old man go for Angelo's gun and get shot. Who's now on the ground, the old man. And let's see. Then we're just going to go by first shot. You don't have your weapon out though, Conquistador, because you have a Derringer.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to shoot anyone.
Okay, you would go first if you could. The next person that would potentially go would be I'm sorry, Henry, because you're a 14 with your pistol. If you want to do anything with it, you don't have to, but you can.
He pulls out his pistol and says, "Mon Dieu, what is happening here?"
Okay, that's cool. You can do that. The Spaniard is he's gonna run forward to the old man with his gun and as he does, the old man pulls a piece of paper out and he hands it to or tries to hand it to Angelo, and he says, "I bequeath this to you," and he holds it out.
Oh, I would take it in and start, unrolling it to read it.
Okay. The Spaniard runs up, and I don't think he's dumb enough to shoot the guy dead right there when he can't defend himself. So he basically he looks flabbergasted, and he points his gun at Angelo, and he says, "Give it to me." And as you unroll it, it is a map.
Yeah, if he points his gun at me, I raise my gun towards him, and I just go, "I believe the deal was to deliver the man to you, and you would pay us for our time. It has been done. You make your payment, and the map will be yours."
You'll give me the map if I give you the money?
Henry says, "I listen to my friend if you do not want a hole in your stomach."
In front of all these witnesses here, you'll give me the map if I give you the money.
I'm a man of the word. I study and I read the word and I obey the word. There is nothing but truth comes from my lip.
Okay. He releases the hammer, so his gun's no longer cocked.
Well, I'll do mine too. Then I put mine down.
And he puts it into the holster. Says,
I still have mine out at the side.
Yeah, he just puts it away, and then he reaches into his pocket and he pulls a roll of money and he starts counting out cash while the old man's bleeding out on the ground.
So while this is going on and everyone's distracted, could I possibly sneak up to to Jack's room?
Sure, you can walk right past everybody. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention to you at this point because there's a lot of gunshots.
Right. Yeah. I'd like to walk into. I'd like to go into Jack's room and see if I can find any more of this gold or any cash or anything like that. I mean, Jack's obviously going to die. He's not going to need it.
But yeah, if the guy gives me the money, the agreed amount of money on, I will give him the map in exchange for what he pays us.
Okay. He gives it to you, and Jack says, as Jack's like blood coming out of his mouth, he's dying. He says, "You fool," and then he dies. So you have $100, and this guy takes the map.
Yeah, as he says that, I look down towards him and I go, "May the good Lord welcome you on this day, that maybe he will give you the glorious riches that you let your mind set upon."
Okay. Yeah, so at this point, that marshal comes in the front with his gun out because he heard gunshots. And he's trying to assess what's going on. He comes up and people say that, of course, the Spaniard says that Jack was going to shoot him, so that's why he did it. And the marshal asks you, he's like, "Is that true? Was Jack trying to shoot him?"
Angelo would tell the truth. I mean, he would say that the Spaniard shot first, and then the man grabbed his gun and he shot him to prevent him from getting his gun. He would just tell exactly what happened.
Interesting. Okay, the marshal arrests the Spaniard for shooting this guy who was unarmed. And takes him away. As you know, and of course the people come and start pulling the dead body out and stuff to the coroner or whatever. Insofar as his room, Crystal, when you break into his room, and then you probably get caught up there by the owner of the inn who goes up to his room after the guy dies. So, well, do you want to say the owner of the inn as you are rooting through this guy's shit? So the owner of the inn comes into the room and he sees you there. And he pulls his pistol out and he says, "Young lady, this is not your room."
I'll look at him and I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'll blush really deeply and I'll say, "Jack and I, we were sort of sharing a place last night, and I thought I would just come in here and wait on him."
Yeah, tell it to the marshal. And he basically he points the gun at you and kind of ushers for you to leave.
Okay, I'll leave.
I mean, with him leading you, and he brings you to the jail.
Oh.
That's unless you want to try something.
He's pointing a gun at me. He's pointing a gun at me.
At point blank range. He brings you outside and then brings you to the sheriff's office, who is now, you see the sheriff actually outside. The marshal's talking to the sheriff. And the owner of the saloon says, looks like we got ourselves a breaking an entry here. They don't hang for that, do they? And then the two lawmen laugh. And then they kind of bring you into the sheriff's office and sit you down while they sort out what to do with the Spaniard. What are you guys going to do? Will your friend just get arrested?
Oh, if I see the hotel owner bring her down at gunpoint, I would follow some distance behind, not knowing what in the world she's done or what's going on, and I would go down. I'm sure there's a crowd now by the sheriff's office and stuff.
Yeah,
try to stay, where we could hear the conversation.
Yeah, they basically bring her inside and they just tell you to sit in a chair, Crystal. They just say, "Sit right there. We got bigger crimes to deal with right now." And they said they make sure that they take the gun away from the Spaniard and they put him into the little lockup in the back. And then you see the coroner come, and get the body. So then the marshal says to you and the sheriff, and they say, "What were you doing in his room?"
Enemy was dead. That was the one.
Well, I mean, I was just trying to explain to the owner. We kind of shared a place together last night, and I just thought I would wait in there until he came up. Is he not? Is he in trouble or something?
Well, you don't look like Jack's boyfriend.
But I am.
Boyfriend.
In your gut.
Oh. I see.
In my gut, I think he is going to be caught.
Well, I mean.
Then he winks at you and he says, "Get out of here. It's out of trouble."
Yep, I'll do that.
And they let you go. They get bigger fish to fry. But there was nothing in the room that you found. The room was literally empty except for the shotgun, which obviously you couldn't have taken because the guy would have seen you with the shotgun. But like there was nothing else in the room.
Yeah.
It was loaded. Yeah. All right. So on that note, kind of just like so, basically the Spaniard gets arrested. He has the map. The sheriff takes it from him, basically. But a little while later, when as things are calming down, the guys from the stable approach Angela. And they say, "Sir, the barkeep told me that the old man bequeathed all of his belongings to you."
Yes, that is my understanding. Also, his deathbed confession that he did do that.
Well, I mean, he's got a mule and some stuff here, but he does owe on it. If you want it, we can get it to you. But he's got a $3 bill.
I guess keep it for now, and if and when my companions we decide to move on down the road, we'll see if we are wanting it. I will take care of the balance for you.
Okay. If it's more than a week though, let me know because we may sell it to pay his bill.
He tips his hat.
Cool. They say.
And I also would go back to the. I mean, we don't have to do this right now, but I mean, I would whenever we go back to the hotel, I would give the hotel owner or whatever enough money to clean up the mess over there, the blood and stuff that was caused.
Yeah, it's like $1. I mean, it's more than enough for any of that. Yeah, they're appreciative of it. Luckily, it was a very short gunfight and didn't cause too much trouble. But so you've got the possessions of Dutch Jack if you want. The Spaniard's in jail. The map is with the sheriff, who you've yet to meet. Well, you met him. Crystal's character met him for a second. But that basically concludes that for now. If you unless there's something else you want to do, that's kind of the map part of it. Unless you want to go after that guy, because it's 10. I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to play a little longer. There's that.
I don't know. It's getting kind of late for Tony. Do you think you'd be willing to do anything else tonight, Tony? Or are you ready to head to bed?
Oh, I'm okay right now. I mean, I'm okay.
I mean, it's 10 here for my time. Usually, sometimes we play to 11. I just want to make because basically that was most of it that I wanted to do was to get the map. Either you guys would have got the map or you didn't get the map. But there is that bounty if you want to follow that up or anything else. We could play for like another half an hour or something if you want to.
Yeah, to test out the mechanic because y'all haven't really gotten to test out the mechanics. That's fine by me.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to do like a little shootout, we could basically.
Yeah, what do you think, Young?
Yeah, I'm all up for it.
All right.
So Henri at this point turns over to Angelo and says, "So, Padre, you have seen a man who was shot down right before your eyes, but he was an old man, and now the guy who shot him is seems like a gentleman from New York City. How do you feel? Is this what the Lord above us wishes?"
He doesn't say anything for another good minute as you go through your spiel, and he looks at you and he goes, "The Lord had spoken to me by his word. The old man come to visit me in my room while y'all were gone, and I'm afraid the old man was not who he was pretending to be, I don't believe, from what the word is spoken, but it is unfortunate it's turned into the death of anyone. The Spaniard, as you know, is they're very hot-headed and sometimes rush to deal with things in a more violent way, but my friend, I'm very exhausted. I must return to my room and study the word before I retire. I believe maybe in the morning we should start over and see where the road leads."
"Oh, this has left a very bad taste in my mouth. I shall have to wander the town a little bit and clear my head."
Yeah, and real quick at that point, Angelo would retire to his room, lock his door, and he would not go through his ritual, what he usually does, but he would take the bottle of the fine drink that he bought at the store there, the trading post, and he opens the doorway to go out on this balcony. And he will sit there in a chair and he will drink that bottle until it's empty. As he stumbles up and almost stumbles and falls over the balcony, he looks down on the street. This is for you. As he drops the bottle and lets it fall to the street, and then he passes out drunkenly in his bed for the rest of the night.
Jenny, she's gonna sit where they were sitting at, and she's going to pout and be angry because she really, really wanted to know where that mine was. And she's going to order a bottle of wine, and she is going to drink from that bottle until it is empty. And then maybe she'll just pass out at the table. Wine drunk.
Okay. And Henry?
Henry continues to walk out of the town and heads over to the camp.
Okay. Yeah, so you head up into the camp. It's like afternoon now. Word's gotten to the camp that, this map now exists and about the shootout and all this other stuff. So people are getting a little bit rowdy and drinking and stuff as you kind of approach. And they see you coming. They kind of just like eyeball you. Nobody's like, nobody tells you to leave, but nobody's particularly friendly as you approach the camp.
And then he approaches the first man he sees.
Okay. So yeah, this is like a kind of a young guy that looks like he probably maybe had a life of a farmer, and then he probably sold his last cow to come out here and buy some, a pick and a shovel to make his way. And he's probably spent more money on alcohol than he should have. And he looks at you.
Bonjour, mon ami. My name is Henri Moreau. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, as long as you stay out of my way. That gold's going to be mine.
You mean the gold where the map is purported to take you?
Yeah, that one. The map. Yep. The gold. It's mine.
You're going to go after the map itself? Or are you going to search the desert?
Well, I got a good tracking dog. I used to do a lot of hunting, and I think I can figure out where that old man came from. How hard could it be to find an old man?
What do you mean? But the old man is already dead.
But he must have come from someplace.
You think you will use the dog to sniff out where he's from and track down his mine?
You ask a lot of questions, Frenchie.
Well, it is in my nature. And one of the reasons why I'm out here is to seek adventure and fortune. That is why I'm not in Orléans, in France. I don't mean to pry or make you very nervous, but I just wish to learn and enjoy the adventure out here in the West.
Yeah.
Do you know a man named John Smith?
Well, I know John Smith.
What kind of man is he?
He's a bad man.
It is said that he has found some gold.
Really?
No?
Man, he was broke when he married my sister.
Oh, mon Dieu. He is your brother-in-law.
Back in Georgia.
Well, it is very strange how things work out. Where is John Smith? And why? Oh, he has went back to Georgia?
Back? When did he leave? What are you talking about, Frenchie?
Sacre bleu, I've been duped. This is no good. But, young fellow, what is your name again?
Brian.
Brian, The gold is a very dangerous business. If you find it, folks want to kill you and take the gold from you. Maybe you should hire some protection.
Hmm, that's a good idea.
Maybe myself and my friends can work to protect you if you are looking to find this mine. What do you say?
Well, that sounds great. Sure. You're going to protect me? Hold on. What do you want for it? I can't give you about a nickel.
I do not ask for a lot of gold, maybe $2,
$2.
$3, $3 for 3 guns.
$3. Well,
It is a very, it is a very good deal, don't you think?
that does sound like a good deal, but $3 is a lot of money. I don't know $3. I spent my last $8 on this pan.
How about then, if you find the gold mine, me and my friends take 30%.
30%.
70% will be insured because we will use the gun to protect you. And my two friends, will take the 10% each. Est-ce bon?
You see him counting on his fingers. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. So you're gonna give me 70%. Hold on, what? I guess
7. If the mine has 10 gold, he holds out his 10 fingers, and then you take 7, and my friends and myself, we take 1, 2, 3. Then that is 70% for you and 30% for me. It's bon?
You still there, Daniel?
I think that fella's still trying to figure it out.
No, he fell out.
Maybe he'll be right back.
He's back.
I'm back. Yeah, I guess my internet dropped. Are we still live? Yeah, we are. Oh, well done.
Yep, we are.
All right,
As
cool.
long as you're back within 5 minutes, I think it is. It keeps the signal.
I was like, am I by myself? So you explained to the guy. I get what you're doing. That was good. Yeah, he's game. He doesn't seem to have a lot of money, or any money, but he does have a dog, and he's willing to cut you in on it if you want to join him.
So when do you want to leave in search of this mine?
In 2 days, because I got to see a girl first.
I understand that. Then we will meet back here in 2 days. We have an accord?
That's a deal. And he spits in his hand and he holds it out for you to shake it.
He shrugs and shakes his hand.
All right.
And Henry goes back and informs the other two of his deal with this young fella, and asks them if they're game.
Oh, you found someone that has gold, and they're willing to give us 30% of it to protect them?
Well, it is a young man who has a dog, and he will try to find the mine.
I remember the first time I ever met Diane.
A bitter look.
We already have 100 gold, and the murderer is behind bars. So I think it is a good way.
A bitter look runs across Jenny's face, one that she doesn't often make, and she takes a cigarette from her case, not offering one to Henry this time. And she lights it up, takes a rather large drag, trying to understand what's going on. So let me get this straight. You found some country bumpkin prospector who has a dog.
Oui.
And he's going to try to find a gold mine like every other prospector out there is trying to find.
Oui.
And if he finds it, I get 10%.
10% of the gold in the mine.
Wow. Well, living on hopes and dreams is one way to get by in this world, but I prefer something a little bit more tangible.
It is in 2 days.
Another large drag.
It is in 2 days. We are free to do other things in 2 days. So maybe we could go after the bounty tomorrow. And then in 2 days, we can meet with this young man and try to look for their mine.
Maybe we can do that. Hopefully the preacher won't stab us in the back this time and take things into his own hands. Maybe if he does, he'll get shot this time. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are having this discussion. You're like maybe partially wine drunk at this point. And, the preacher is probably getting close to passing out on the top of the floor when into the hotel steps the man that you recognize from the gambling. He's with the two other guys that he was with before, but also he's with another man, kind of a tall, muscular guy. All of these guys are sporting like revolvers on their hips. And when they walk in, like everybody kind of looks at them and kind of gives them their space. And they sit down at a table and they order up drinks and start drinking.
Jenny will kind of nod her head. Well, looks like we're not going to need to find the target because looks like the target's found us.
I do not like the odds. There are 4 of them, and there are only 2 of us.
Yeah. I doubt the preacher's going to help us at all. For all his talk of wanting to be holy, he sure doesn't seem to try to stop any real evil that's going on. And Jenny again takes another drag of her cigarette as she eyes this band of guys trying to figure out the best way to approach.
Yes, you guys are on the first floor in the restaurant. I guess Angela would be upstairs at this point.
It's night time, you said by now, or
you're probably out there doing your drinking while this was going on.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be capable even if they come after him. He's going to make up some excuse.
Yeah, Henry at this point actually goes upstairs to try to get the preacher, but upon discovering that he's totally inebriated,
you would not actually know that because he will hide it from you. He will be covered with this lime aftershave, and he'll just go.
Okay.
The stress of what happened earlier, it has made me very sick in my stomach, and it has given me a very bad headache. I hope it's okay. No dinner for me tonight. I'm going to go and rest. I will see you in the morning at breakfast.
No, there are fellas with bounty on their heads that we would like to try to capture, or to.
I've already told the foolish girl. I mean the young girl. I try to explain to her that it's best to let the authorities that wear badges to handle that. That is not my business, nor should it be yours. But if you do indulge in that, I hope the Lord protects you till the morn.
Well, I thank you for praying for me. Then it is time for me to do my job, and that is to get some bounties. He goes back down to the first floor and sits right next to Jenny and says, "The preacher, he does not want to help us."
Oh, Jenny will say, "Yeah, figures, fucking coward." And she kind of like is stomping out her cigarette at this moment, just thinking about all that gold that got away.
All that money is good for nothing if you are dead. Maybe we should get the sheriff to make some little gold.
You keep saying that we're gonna make gold. You understand there's a difference between cash and gold, right?
They are all the same to me. Bring gold and get cash. Cash, you can buy the gold.
Well, we could inform the marshal if we wanted, but I doubt he's gonna do anything about this. I mean, there's 4 of these guys here.
I am a pretty good marksman. Maybe I can hide away up on the roof somewhere across the street. And you could take them out one by one outside, and then I can shoot them.
Kill my wife. He is profoundly
That's
regretful.
really risky. There's always this thing for us gambler types. It's called hedging your bet. That's a way too much on the risky side for me. There's no way I'm going to get these guys to come out one by one.
Maybe then you can get a rifle or another gun and then hide with me. And as they walk out of the bar, we can shoot them. It is not very honorable, but then bounty is bounty.
Wait, are those bounties dead or alive? I don't think they are.
So.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, you would know that because we're happening.
Okay. Okay, they are dead or alive. Okay.
You get more when they're alive. You get half.
Yeah.
So you get more money if they're alive, but yes.
We hide in the cover of the darkness, and then as they walk out, we assassinate them.
It's a really risky plan.
We could hide further away. It is a rifle after all. And I am quite a good marksman.
Yeah, well, I don't have a I don't have a big gun. Sorry.
Then I will do this alone. I will hide myself someplace a little farther away and then shoot the man and try to get away. Make that 4 man.
So I'll just let you know if this is what you think you're doing. Oh, I lost my map. Oh, because I went off the thing. Let me screen share. So you're here at the hotel. This area up here is above. This is raised. There's actually a cannon up here. Not that you can use the cannon because it's not like set up, but this is from defense early on when they were doing the wars against the natives. So this is actually a high ground up here. So for what you're describing, you could be up here and shoot anybody in the town and have a pretty good shot at them. Also up here above the judge's house, but you probably don't want to be above the judge's house to be shooting people. Or I suppose even on the balcony of the saloon would also be higher, but they could get you.
Yeah, I mean, Henry would definitely try to hide away in the hills farther away.
Yeah, so if you want, because you are actually a dead eye, I believe.
Okay.
Because you have a 98 accuracy.
Can we say we have like a small map on the table or something, and like kind of going over this plan?
Yeah, well, you could draw it.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. So seeing that, and knowing he is a good, would I know how good of a marksman he is?
Well, he told you he was. You're a crack shot, so you can do a called shot. Okay. So you can actually, so just so you know, there's a couple of different things you can do here. If you want to use the rifle to try to do an aimed shot, like let's say for the head, you can deduct 20 from your hit determination, but if you hit them, you get to choose the area. Or you can just shoot normally and take a risk. It's up to you.
He'll shoot normally and take a risk.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're trying to aim a particular area, then the difficulty just goes up, right?
It'll be 20% harder to hit them. But the way that the damage works is that basically you roll an extent of the damage. So, for instance, if you shoot somebody, let's say you shoot them in the left arm or hand, let's say you roll a 21, that's what you get, then there's no chance that they'll die from that shot. But if you shoot them, let's say in the right shoulder, there's like a 10% chance they die instantly from it. If you shoot them in the head, there's like a 60% chance they die instantly from it. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, he'll risk it and, just simply try to hit them somewhere.
Okay.
All right. If you hide up in those hills, I'll give you a few minutes to go in the hills, and I'll make sure that these men come out.
Just make sure that if they are all down, then you finish the job, or claim that we are working together to kill these bad men. Because if I just shoot them dead, anybody can come up and say that they are the one that have shot them, and that would not be very fair.
Yeah, no problem. No problem there, Henry. We'll make sure that we each get paid.
Then let us get paid. He actually heads on. He rides on his horse and heads over to the hills and finds a position.
Yeah, and not very far. It's
okay. Where? I'm sorry. Where are these men sitting at in the bar?
They're in the corner here. They're over here.
Perfect. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do the most risky thing I can think of. Go me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like these four are all sitting just kind of around in a circle, I guess.
Yeah, they're sitting at the table.
And do all four of these guys wanted men? Like, can I tell?
You don't know that. You only saw one on the poster. But
Okay.
if you did talk to the marshal, and he said that there was a bunch of wanted people he was after.
Okay. And where's Deadeye sitting? Like, is he on the outside or the inside? Huh?
One eye?
Yeah. The one-eye guy, yeah.
He's sitting on the he's in just he's not he's on the he doesn't have his back to the wall, basically. There's one guy, the bigger guy that you've never seen before, has like his back to the wall. One eye has his back to you, actually. He's opposite that guy.
Perfect. I'm gonna walk up to One Eye. I'm gonna pull out my Derringer when I walk up to him. I'm gonna put it to his head. And I'm going to say, don't move or I'll blow your brains out.
Okay. All right, so you walk up to this guy, and you put Darren just to his head. And, he looks at you. And they all start laughing. They're quite drunk. And one of the guy across the way is like the big guy is. He says, "Ha! Imagine that you're gonna get killed by a girl," and they're all laughing.
Just blow his brains out.
Yeah, no, I want to try and pick this guy up, and I'm assuming he has a gun.
Oh yeah, he has two guns.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he's sitting at a table. I mean, you can't pick him up. I mean, if you try to make him stand up, he doesn't get up. He's just laughing. He basically doesn't. He's not. You're a lady with a derringer, and he's a ruthless killer. Yeah.
Great.
One shot, kill shot. In my mind, it's not like
That's just stupid. I put my derringer into my head and pull the trigger.
Oh man.
Life insurance. They're just
I
laughing.
told you that this was a stupid idea. There's absolutely no way we can do this. Like, that's what I was trying to say. And like, I knew my character wouldn't go with this, but it's like, oh, well, we got to do something. So whatever.
You don't have to do anything. If you put the gun away right now, they will just ignore that you even did it. They'll make a lot of lewd comments.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll just fucking put my gun away and walk away.
I mean, it'd be badass if you shot him, but you will likely die. I'll just put that out because it's 3 guys with guns that would take you out.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just fucking walk away.
Well, so you go back to your table where you're drinking the wine, and they actually send you over another bottle of wine.
Great. I'm just gonna leave my companion up in the hills.
Okay. So you're hanging out in the hills for a while, and then it gets to be about, like about 10:30. Like I said, there's like last call, and these guys are quite drunk at this point. They get up, and they start to walk out. So I guess if you're waiting there for them, you probably see them come out. So let me roll randomly to see which one comes out. Let's see. All right. So the first guy out the door is a. He looks like a kind of a young guy. He's really, really thin. And again, yeah, he has a. Actually, this guy only has one pistol on his side. He steps out the door first, but you recognize him from sitting at the table. You see him walk out. He kind of stumbles out of the door.
Henry just, waits for the guy whose face is on that wanted poster.
Okay, so you wait for one eye or one eye over.
For one eye, yeah.
Okay, he's the third one out the door. So he comes out the third one, and you're going to take a pop shot at him?
Yep, Henry smiles and says, au revoir, and then he pulls the trigger.
What percentage?
And he rolls 96.
Oh, wow, that's really good or bad. I can't remember. No, that's bad. That's terrible. You want to roll under your...
Oh, darn it.
It's actually very bad. Yeah, so you miss by a lot. Let me just.
Poor shopkeeper falls down behind his counter.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, it's late. Probably nobody in this. Actually, that's the thing. If you miss somebody, you're supposed to see who's behind them, and there is a chance it could hit them. But I'm gonna say at 11 o'clock at night, the streets are deserted. So you fire a shot, and hold on, I'm gonna give it a chance. Yeah, they like notice it, but they don't notice it. If you know what I mean. Like you shoot, and they're just like, "What the hell was that?" And then one of them takes his pistol out and just starts shooting in the air, and they're like screaming and like dancing in the street, and then they start heading over to the La Loma Alta. So they're walking toward you, but they don't seem to have noticed that you shot them. Try to shoot.
He takes another aim and then tries for one eye once more.
Okay, try shooting me. Okay. He's testing his luck.
Where are they at this
so
point?
now you can wait. They're walking towards the La Loma Alta. You can wait till they get closer if you want. It's up to you. They're currently like right here. The closer they are to you, the easier it is for you to hit them. Obviously.
No, I mean while they're still far away, I take an aim and
that's fine.
Yeah,
So
far away. Yep.
So that's actually
57.
Okay, that seems pretty good. So you have a Civil War rifle, right? So your long range,
yep,
which is minus 15, and your accuracy is 78. So minus 15 is 63. So do you roll a 50 something? Oh, and they're walking.
I think it was 56.
56. Okay. So yeah, you got him because even with walking being another -3, you need to 68 or below to hit him. So yeah, go ahead and roll percentage, see where you hit him.
I roll 4.
Here's where you wanted a high number. All right, so you shoot him in the left leg, and then roll percentage to see like how hurt he is.
45.
Okay. Oh, it is a severe wound though. So yeah, you shoot him right in the left leg, and oh shit. Yeah, he drops to the ground. He's screaming, so you don't think he's dead. Well, he's obviously not dead because he's screaming, but he doesn't like run away. Like he drops to the ground, like holding his leg, screaming. And now they feel like some shit's going down, so they start to spread out, even though they're drunk. They like start to like fan out. So basically, you shot this guy right here. When that happens, since they don't know where the gunshot came from, one of them runs this way. One runs back towards the door here, but they slam the door on him so he can't get in. And the other one runs down behind the well. And they're trying to assess where you are. So what is your speed with the rifle? You are a 9. Right,
yeah,
so let me
9.
check. They have pistols. Holy crap, that guy's super fast. All right, so 2 of them are faster than you, including one eye, but he's also very hurt. So they're going to shoot in your general direction, even though they're going to have a terrible time hitting you because you're in the dark and under cover. Let me just roll. So left eye shoots at you and rolls a 90, which would not hit no matter what. The other guy shoots at you and rolls a 66, which wouldn't hit anyways, even without many modifiers. And then you go before the next 2 guys if you want. They're running for cover. I don't know what you want to do. Also, you can shoot the left eye again too. He hasn't run anywhere. He's in the middle of the street.
Do they know where I am, or are they just
shooting? They have
shooting?
no idea of where the shot came from. I mean, they're shooting in your general direction. The rule is once somebody shoots at you, you can shoot back at them. That's kind of the way it's written. So yeah, they kind of know where you are, but they don't know exactly where you are. You're in the dark. You're also on a hill, and you're behind shit, I'm assuming, or at least on your belly. So they know generally where you are, because they know where the bullet came from, meaning they know you're like somewhere over here. So they just like shot out randomly at you, basically. They don't know exactly where you are, though, now.
Okay. He takes cover and then basically hiding himself and tries to wait until any one of them actually comes out of cover.
Well, the left eye who shot the what you call him, left eye, one eye got shot is still in the middle of the street. So he's not. So one eye is here because you shot him already, and he can't move because his leg's blown out. And then there's another guy standing right here. Neither one of those 2 are undercover. There's a guy undercover here, and there's a guy undercover here. So you could shoot either one of those 2 guys if you want right now.
Okay. He's gonna actually.
It does seem like Lopez is out of commission, so, and you do know you get more money if you bring him in alive, so you can decide whether or not you want to kill him or not. But
yeah, I mean, he's not going to bother with Lopez. He's down, so he's actually going to try to shoot the guy that's right next to the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. He rolls 78.
Okay, that's something you need a 78, and you have the modifier for range, so that doesn't hit. So the 2 guys that didn't shoot yet, one of them being this guy here, is going to shoot at you. He only kind of generally knows where you are. Nope, he shoots kind of randomly in your direction, but misses completely. And then the last guy also just kind of shoots randomly in your direction, with really not even close to where you are. I should point out. So, Angelo, you're quite drunk based on your description, up on the balcony right above all this gunplay. And Ginny, you're inside with the Derringer. And there is one guy standing by the door that tried to get in. So I don't know if either one of you two guys want to do anything before next time.
Ginny's going to take her bottle of wine and head up to her room. She's going to take her glass with her.
Okay. That's you,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Angelo saw all this. He saw a one-eye shot and all this, you said?
Yeah, because you're out there drinking. I mean, you said you got quite sloshed, so you're probably sitting out there drunk, but you see these people in the street running and being shot at, yes. And they're pretty much basically, because where you are is here, like up in this general area, because that's where the balcony is. So you see a guy standing right here, and he's not undercover for you. And you see a guy right here who's, again, not undercover for you. One eye is here in the street, and you could see him. This guy's underneath you, so you can't really see him.
Yeah, he has no idea what in the world is going on, since he's probably has an idea what his companions have started this, but he drops that bottle and lets it fall from the balcony, goes back into his room and passes out asleep.
Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So the two guys that are faster than you, they're actually, knowing that you're shooting at them with a rifle, and they're not completely stupid because they're outlaws. They actually run. The two guys that are faster, the one was here and the other one was over here. They both kind of duck behind here, and you don't see them anymore. They're like out of view. This guy over here is too slow though, so you can go first if you want. And of course, Lopez can't go anywhere.
Yep, he shoots at him.
Okay, go for it.
Rolls 26.
26 definitely hits. Yeah, it's because you got 78 minus 15, so whatever it is. And he wasn't moving. So roll a percentage to see.
64.
All right, so 64 is a shot to the abdomen / groin. Ooh.
Groin, make it a groin.
Which way?
And he rolls 85.
85 is a mortal wound. Groin. You got shot him in the thigh.
Oh man.
He falls to the ground, like bleeding out of his gut. And then you don't, like, if you're waiting, let's see anything else happen. Maybe you wait like a little bit. The only thing you really see is after like a minute or so, these other two don't resurface. But the sheriff comes out of his office with a shotgun, and he's kind of like keeping low. And he's
I'll do that.
Yeah, and he's walking towards the Lopez, who's in the street screaming, and the other guy's just dead there. So I don't know if you want to address the sheriff or not, if you're just going to leave the bodies.
So at this point, he puts away his rifle, takes out his revolver, and gets back on his horse. And he circles back around the town. And enters the town from the opposite direction.
Oh, okay. So you leave out here and then come back and come this way?
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna take a while because it's like in a drop. You can do that. It'll probably take like half an hour. Because basically this is in a tight valley, right? So you got to go out and around and follow the ridge and come up back around.
I see. You know what? Screw this. Yeah, he's just gonna go straight out, and walk down the street. He's gonna say, "These guys probably ran away because their leader's gone." So, yeah, he's gonna get back on his horse and simply ride into the town and approach the sheriff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the sheriff sees you, turns and points a shotgun at you, and he says, "What? Freeze! What's going on here?"
Well, Sheriff, I got your bounty. One eye is down, as you can see him. And I have one of these fellow riders. I think I have shot him in the crotch.
Indeed. Yeah, so that was... Oh my god, okay, hold on. So the sheriff sees him and he like turns his face and he says, "Wow, you got Julio Matamoros. He's a ruthless gang leader. There's a $500 reward on him."
Well, he's a man without a coat.
Yes. So you got $500 for shooting off his garage. You probably shot him in the gun. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he's dead. I mean, the sheriff takes Lopez into custody, throws him in with the Spaniard. Assuming you're helping, they bring the guy in there, and yeah, he takes your information. You're going to get, $550.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, you in the morning, I guess you guys are having breakfast. They're all hungover. I don't know. Do you even tell them?
No, the Frenchman looks at the other guys and says, "Well, how was your night last night?"
I had to retire early, as I had informed you of, but just before I was taking in a fresh breath of air and hearing gunshots. I guess you and the lady here, did you... Well, you're still here. The good Lord has seen to it, but did you find what you were looking for?
It was a little bit of a fight, but I will make a tea. Maybe you can pray for me, Father, and then throws in $50. And for my friend, the gambler, says, "Well, I did not see you in the during the night, but you probably did what you had to do inside. So here you go." And then he tosses another $100 towards her, and then doesn't say anything more.
Nice. I feel like you became a bounty hunter all of a sudden. Yeah, so you got him. You got two of the outlaws, and two got away, who will now seek you out and try to kill you. But that's for another day, I guess, right? So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Jenny says, Jenny, when she gets $100, she's just like she just looks like she doesn't even want to know. She's like, maybe I should just order another bottle of wine.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't shoot the guy when he was at the door, but it's all right.
By that point, my spirit was completely crushed and defeated. I was drinking wine. They taunted me by buying me another bottle of wine. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. Whatever happens to him, I don't care.
Yeah, that was the intimidation move. All right, yeah, so that concludes this. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. If this gets picked up at some point in front of the game, there's the map that's out there, the trial of the Spaniard for his cold blood killing of the old man, and two criminals who now want to take revenge on Henry. So thanks, guys. It's in the broadcast.
Cool. It was a lot of fun, guys.